Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. Thank you for joining us. First of all, I would like to inform all participants here regarding the time of teaching. Both Jang Chupling and Borobudur Committee try our best for Pari Rinpoche continue turning the wheel of Buddha Dharma. Would reach as many people as possible from around the world. Today, Pari Rinpoche will continue the last day I wish so for the Heart Sutra. Then classroom will be muted to allow setting down. During this time, we recommend doing 3 prostration to a holy image or object in your home. While waiting, Rinpoche has advised students to recite praises to 21 taras, followed by green tara mantra Tare Tu Tare Soha. The assigned Umse will lead the chanting and recitation of mantra. So now then to the Umse can start now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Faye? Faye, give me host, co-host.
Oh, yes.
Need to give me co-host for me to share screen, sorry.
Harry.
It's done now.
Okay,
Oh,
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Bonda la ye ne jo ne tam ye jang go le zhong xie we ba me ge wu la ge du sun sang ge jin le ma zhuo ma go jie xie zu zhe la dang la mi zhe bian ge xiao ge bei mo la du de pong ba gun le zhu zi ma zhuo ma nyong la jia zi lu wo mo jie zi ma pa ma zhuo ma la jia za lu cha zi zhuo ma niu ma ba mo jie ni ge ji lo dang zhai ma ji dian sun gong shi ge xie ge sa jie wa le ni zhuo ma cha zi dong ge da wa gun do gang wa ge ni zi bei xie ma gang ba zhong zha cuo ba nan ge rab du qie wei wu ra ba ma cha zi sen go ju ne ge bei mei chan ni nan ba ge ma jin ba sun du kao zhu xi wa su ba sam dian ju yu ni ma cha zi de xin xie bei zu do ta ye nan ba ge wa ju ma ma ru pa ru jin ba do bei ge wei se ge xin du de ma cha zi du da ra hong ge du dang chu dang nan ga ga ma ji dian dun bo xia ge nian de lu ba me ba gu ba nu ma cha zi ga ji me la zang ba lu na na zuo wang ju ju ma jun bo ro lang ji sa nang dang dong jin ju ge dun de de ma cha zi zhe jie jia dang bei ge bao ru du gu rab du zhou ma ye gun yang yang xia ge nian de me ba zhu ba xin du ba ma cha zi du ri ji ba jian bo du ge bao wo nan ba zhou ma ju ge xin ni tu nie den zi zhou wo dang jie ma lu zhi ma cha zi gong zhu sum jin jia ge zhi me du ga nan ba ge ma ma lu zhou ge go lu ge bei rang ge wu ge sun nang zhu ma cha zi rab du ga wa ji bei wu ge wu ge chen wa bei ma xie ba rab xie du da ra yi du dang xi dian wang du zi ma cha zi sa xi gong wei zuo nang tam jie gu ba nu ma ni ma chun ye you wei yi ge hong ge pong ba tam jie nan ba zhi ma cha zi da wei dun bu wu gen gen ba tam jie xin du ba ma zhe bei ku na wei ba me le da ba xin du o rao zi ma cha zi ge bei tam me da ba wei tuan wei wu na ne ma ye gang yun kun kun ne go ge zha yi bong ni nan ba zhou ma cha zi sa xu ngue la cha ge tu ge nyong jin sam ge do ma chui jie现在一个红嘅人包东部南的嘅嘛，这是咱们嘅嘛是嘛，两个这是主要嘅嘛，所以我们大洋大电北地巴全部中巴嘅嘛，这是国内国拉高嘅在路呢南巴嘅嘛，一个主边啊你个北地巴红嘞中嘛嘅嘛，这是就是像你大北红嘅那边三边嘅嘛，日拉曼达拉当北这几点苏那牛啊嘅嘛，这是拉。 ye zong ye nam be ri da da jian jia na na ma da ra ni jiu pe ge yi ge du na ma lu ba ni se ma cha sa la ye zong nam ge bo la da mi yang ji ye de ma gu ne go cha ga we ji ge zu na mi lang yin ba se ma cha se ni ma da wa ge be jian ni bo la wu ra se ma ha ra ni jiu du da ra ye xin du ta bo rim ne se ma cha se de ni sum nam ge be xi wei du nang yang da de ma du nang ru lam nu jin zo nang zhong ba du re rao jiu ni ma za wei nga ge du ba di dang jia zi wa ni ni shu za jiu on da re du re so ha 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 on dare tu dare tu 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 re so ha Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, 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 Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha,
Kasih
Om Tare
Delek.
Tutare Ture Soha.
Pari Rinpoche, kasih Delek. Rinpoche, need to mute yourself.
Kasih Dela.
Rinpoche need to mute. Someone can help to mute.
Koya Mindula. Koya Mindula.
mute lah siapa dulu lah.
Oh,
다 거기도 왜? 거기로 라. 어, 라서. 다디 창마 통수. 내가 나 지고. 막힌 통.
yeah. Kasih Delek, Pari Rinpoche, thank you.
어,
Very much.
라서.
Yeah, thank you for Pari Rinpoche's time
Thank you.
and kindness for
Oh.
all of us.
오케이.
And
Yeah,
thank you
당연히.
everyone. Yeah, for being
Ale.
together again for the
어,
continuous teaching of Heart Sutra.
어,
So,
야.
yeah, now we
그 가서 너 뒤버딘다. 싫어 인부 뒤뒤뒤 뒤버디.
Fenty, so Rinpoche is
saying we will do the one verse Heart Sutra. This one, the one that's on the screen now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh yeah. 마산지 메시라 바르지 마게 메가 나게 모오니 소소라니 이시시 되선 개베 용나 차세 로 다야타 가덴가데 바랑가데 바라 상가데 부디소 다야타 가덴가데 바랑가데 바라 상가데 부디소 다야타 가덴가데 바랑가데 바라 상가데 부디소 하오 마가 사마라도 셔 마가 사마라 셔 아가 사마라자 샤다라 사마라야 페 파바군주 송게 템바 침베 또기 체 노와 규지 매와 규지 시와 라게 바제 미데베 쇼링에 바탐제 신데 꾸루이 소하 게레 동라 개주 시와네 미데네베 킨다 tum바두지 페송 소유는 다시 대견된데 데레 쇼 모토세나 멘데 되바
So
So we'll have the short mandala offering one verse one Sajipugi. 상계 최단 소yi 초남라 창조 바도 다니 접수시 다기 최세 예배 초남기 로라 펜제 상계 로바라 쇼 상계 최단 소yi 초남라 창조 바도 다니 접수시 다기 최세 예배 초남기 로라 펜제 상계 로바라 쇼 상계 최단 소yi 초남라 창조 바도 다니 접수시 다게 최세 예배 초남기 로라 벤제 상계 로바라 쇼 마요나게 타다니 메신지 탄지게 등도 도자라나메와 양타와 소베 상계 이고만 rum부지 진에게 토바 대시도 담배 취 선물에 와세니 꾸는 군주人반 레과스테드 데셈바라 찰 Fenty.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Venerable Steve. There is a representative from Borobudur Committee, Miss Hetty Hirawati. So I would like to introduce everyone before we start the teaching. I'm sorry, Venerable Steve.
Okay. That rimshi kondada. Tanangozu Borobudur sobagi 미치 예 안에 디 미강갈 치카스테 등으로 지나 삼준데 제조부치 올라서 Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead. 그렇잖아. 아니 네 나한테 가산디 지난주 제기면 두디 그래 도와지 까보다. So Rinpoche is saying that he can't actually see me. Something must have gone wrong, so he can't actually see me. Probably helps if he can see me. I don't know what's happening there.
Oh, somebody maybe can help. So can spotlight Miss Hirawati with Rinpoche.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So Rinpoche can see this really, yeah. Oh, touch dele. So hello, Rinpoche is saying hello to you, Ms.
Yeah.
Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Namo Buddhaya
and everybody.
So she the because me gangala that
림부시에 당 안에 미강가를 다시 레슈기스.
야. 또 지체.
Ya, silahkan Ibu.
Thank you.
Mbak Fenty, Bu Fenty, saya masuk ya.
Ya, silakan please. Ya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to represent Bapak Edi Setiono, the President Director of PwC. Well, with all due respect, His Eminence Kiabe Dagri Rinpoche, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor on behalf of PT PwC, Indonesia Heritage Management Corporation, to join and greet all distinguished audience on the third exclusive teaching of the Heart Sutra by His Eminence Dagri Rinpoche. I would like to take this moment by offering the highest appreciation to His Eminence Dagri Rinpoche for his long life commitment and dedication in spreading and teaching Buddhist philosophy, Sutra, Tantric teachings. For me, Dagri Rinpoche is a profoundly compassionate, gentle, and skillful guru. Ladies and gentlemen, in my brief understanding about the Heart Sutra, in which Sanskrit called Prajna Paramitra Hridaya Sutra, is a guidelines for the Mahayana Buddhism that teach the essence of discourse on the heart of the perfection of wisdom, which is highly influential throughout East and Central Asia. At the same time, we discuss Buddhism in Asia, especially in Indonesia. We believe that Borobudur Temple represented the harmony of diversity and tolerance was really reflected in Indonesia. I assume Dagri Rinpoche and everybody agree with me, since he himself took part in spreading the diversity of the harmony by being the keynote speakers at our last third Borobudur International Conference back in 2018 at Borobudur. We wish soon we can continue to hold the fourth Borobudur International Conference, which has been postponed due to the pandemic in the past 2 years. So it will be our pleasure to have Dagri Rinpoche as our keynote speaker soon. Ladies and gentlemen, let me once again express our sincere gratitude for the opportunity to deliver a welcome greeting at this conference. And I hope all of you will enjoy the conference.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
So I will explain.
Thank you.
I'll explain that to Rinpoche, okay? Now Rinpoche the most lighting in Tanda to Shugos, Shunadigarawala. That is and Rinpoche Dang, and meet some of the Shugos. And the consort the Indonesia git, any Borobudur git Sopaki, Nune, and it Tashile down in the Shugos. Tanda the Nazo the Shernimbogi, Teng Sumbarwala. That the Yabushira dosta the Chitan the ko casa the share power the doggy nimbo in the Sungugas chasing Yabushira dosta. Koran and do danga and the chatan the Jawinsa and the Tujeshu years Kaligamne.
That's all.
Then a Morangi Sambalat. Rinpoche Ninji Tangi Chen res, and the Karin Chimbo res, and the Pe Kabu years, and Tuche Shugi years. That Chiran Chen the sheriff new casa that Shergi Parlojin body. Asia the Yongzola the Kachimbo Chade Yores, and the Labardo and the Indonesia consul the Borobudur Yuva. That the Zamboling the bit Shideon with the Shideon and the Kachimbo Chade Yores, and the Rinpoche Sebo. King it is, Karsnet, someone bought the Pesaravas, and it's a lot, and the thing also the because the the things sum de trosarwa.
그래.
The things shibadi the majua karsne and the name the wangi and the yom to barwalas.
오래.
the gopo the sope the rewachembo dos and
Olas.
tujinas.
라서 터잖아. 다가를 봤다 두송아.
No, Larry. So thanks very much. I've explained that to Rinpoche, and he says thanks very much.
Thank you very much for the translation, interpreting the
You're welcome.
speech.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
야, 터잖아.
And greetings from all Indonesia,
무슨
TWC family, to all of you.
야.
Tandang also the nangmetra bochade yores and the chesanta Indonesia Borobudur property and it can get a tasted years.
그땐체 다 되네.
Very kind, thank you.
네, 다 비트 쉬는 되기를 봐라.
No, Larry.
다 인도네시아의 부르부대 다 제경 초과에 다 초도 초고 그저 공다 챙다고면서 와서 제가 공균이 다래 아니 내 송시에 나네 제가 승부 첨부 탭송 두치 나셔.
So thank you to you, Ms. Hedi Herawati, for these words, kind words, on behalf of the Borobudur Committee of Indonesia. Thank you very much.
어디지? 제가 초반디 아니 규인에 엔점니가 사죠 가서 갈로 쉬고 초반 나봐야 아니 가서래. 인도네시아에 다 여러 조상 과다 다가나신 등은 아니 배 전제等 기부 당보하고 패봐 아니 다 가다 대 진럽 간다 빡도 매버 여왔다 아니 다 간다 인도네시아 믹스기 나르고 릭숑 다 간다 참바的 这位 아니 릭숑定서부디 아니 간다 왔다 디과 체제 디과나 등만만고 쉬야 총송스
I want to say a few words. I wanted to say that that this group, the committee at Borobudur, Indonesia, is something very important. It's an amazing place. Borobudur is an amazing place. So many holy beings have been there that it's the blessings are just unimaginable. And I recognize that Indonesia in general is very steeped in loving kindness and compassion, which goes back in a tradition which goes back, like centuries, many centuries. So this is really amazing. No.
yeah. 어디체 다가나 시다 점니 사조 간사 슈베 아니 유로만 고슈베 다 간다 두고 남발이야 아니 참바드 제베 penye 다 간다 냠내 치다 로종 고래 다 간다 리조 단다 디 다시로 공도 패야고 어디 딘데 챘네 아니 단다디 제교 촉바디 귀니 딘데 쉬어 총송스 제자다 지난주다 디 튕교로름 난게 다또 운진체 튕교로름 난게 다가나시 다또 창마려야 아니 닝 탁번에 두치 전슈아이
And in fact, so I have had the opportunity to talk about these things, about loving kindness and compassion, also particularly talking about the development of wisdom. I've had the opportunity to talk to people from all over the world about this, and it's really by way of mainly this committee, the Borobudur committee. And so for that reason, I would like to express my gratitude, heartfelt gratitude.
야, 도착나. 되네. 인도네시아 레벨가라 아니 미 탄다 유럽다 상주에서 현대면다 야고시란도.
When I have come to Indonesia, I have found the Indonesian people to be particularly remarkably kind and good people, friendly people, good people.
세상 아니 신도네 루교유 림보 간다 다 딘데 딘담베 아니 하장 자침베 다 최된 단다 믹스에 최된 단다 부르부드체 어다 부르부딘데라야 아니 마원바 아니 가서래 단델이야 내제다 준비 중에 망고 영약 레바당 다가나 시다 내 신다 망고 여러봐 어디 내제 중이 망고 페토야게 아니 레바당 면람들이 쉬고요스
And so, especially Borobudur, which has such an ancient history behind it, and there are other places, of course, in Indonesia, very important holy places. My hope and my prayer is that in the future, many people are going to get the opportunity to come and receive the blessings of these places.
단다 계급디 아니 배 야게 공배 로야 지다 아니 학병기 계급들랑 아니 배 남의 기부 탐보 망고 패니 너로 리숑 아니 현다 매 지금의 타내기 더 리숑 자첨부 지요 때 가래서나 참제 참바다 제외 오다 응원에 단 링단 체비 진짜 뭐 없죠 디 아니 너로 리숑 되게 야게 치니 다 간단 점링 사죠 가서 가려야 아니 단단디 인도네 리숑 상보 참제 어떤디 파 지금디 폐게나 간 폐게다 아니 간다 가서 다 간다 람데난 디니디나도 배 초달디 참바드 잡아 켜야게 아니 비게 람데난도 지금디네 디르바 쉬우스 쉬라
My hope also is that these wonderful qualities of especially of loving kindness and compassion, which are on a very deep level the culture of Indonesia, that this culture, which is really it's priceless, that we'll be able to build on this, and that we'll be able to spread this culture throughout the world. No.
도시나 아니 세상다 다리 아니 가지 고잡 공제바 시라 가보총 아니 비송시야나 시라 가보총 그디체 도잖아요. 간도 좀 가보지야 게 면함 유슈라.
And particularly to you, Ms. Hedi Harawati, I'm very happy to have met you as the representative of this, the Borobudur committee. Very happy to have met you, and I hope that before long we'll actually meet together.
Oh yeah, 안타잖아. 다 내 운신 단다 80를 봐. 80 당만에 모신 바래. 80. 다자다 80 당 다가는 시다 대 지난 차례 나니 처음에 아니 그게 다 돈되는 시 잡아 람로 영야다. 야야 공부 영야. 봐. 딘데기 딱 간다. 그게 스tam도 20 드베 딘데기 딱 봐면 쉬고요. 딘딘도 그래서
And so, of course, I know for a long time now. I've known Eddie and other members, and my prayer and my hope is that everything will unfold, everything will happen according to their wishes, and it's also my belief that things will actually happen according to their wishes.
어떠잖아. 지난 3월에야 등교로라나 바까디체 스토체 쉐이 투체 쉐체 아니 삼대 가서 20배 면은 쉐체 두시 도자.
And so thank you to you, and of course actually Rinpoche said before that I left it out, I forgot. Thank you to actually everybody that's been involved in making this possible. So thanks to you, and also my prayers for all of your wishes to be fulfilled.
Okay.
Thank you.
두지. 두지. 도잖아. 당에디 캐세 슈드 망고 주샤인다. 그봐?
So we'll carry on with where we left off last time.
Okay. Tochana.
No.
Terima kasih Ibu Heti Herawati atas waktu dan kebaikan dari Ibu semuanya. Bahagia untuk kita semua dapat mendengarkan sambutan dari Ibu dari PT Taman Wisata Candi.
Terima kasih Bu Feti. Terima kasih semuanya.
Ya.
혹시 야부 제기도게?
띵가 창마 제기면도 당가 창마 제스로 쓰기다. 나란지 통도 나란다 통 마통면도.
Rinpoche can't see everybody yet. So he can see himself, which he doesn't really need to. 한다? 간데도.
다는 가지고 통대기도.
So Rinpoche still can only see himself. So not that we're trying to fix that. I think somebody's trying to fix it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Rinpoche 한다 상계 쳐서 말하라.
상계 쳐서 다 줍송. 다 강가 줍소. 다 내다마 그도 랍상. 어다 통송. 다 강가 제송. 다 됐어.
So now Rinpoche can see everybody. So that's very good.
도잖아.
So can we start with the mandala or mandala offering to Pari Rinpoche? I'm sorry.
mandala 줬어.
That so we've done. Rinpoche says we've done that already.
Oh, okay.
도잖아. 도지 다学了. 아니 낭배 따와디 딘종 따와래. 딘종 낭배 따와디 딘종체. 저바데 처바 매와서 다조 아니 참바다 잡아래. 딘데세 낭배 따와디 따와 딘종다 저바데 처바 매와서 그래.
So I will begin to teach the Heart Sutra today, and so I want to open by making the point that the Buddhist philosophical view is of dependent arising. So the view of how things are, that's dependent arising, and then in terms of the way of conducting one's life, it's in terms of the non-violence, which basically means really, living your life according to loving kindness and compassion. No.
Oh yeah. That didn't show up some ever. The catching bushare. Chamba the Zavati, bet Goya de bet Nesu Kavate Vine, Aranzo, Tata in a Katuine, or the Churu Same Labjay Tachi Goresidora, by Hajang Chambatza catching bushare.
Now, when we say that the way of life in terms, the conduct according to which we live our lives is non-violence, this is actually something really important, and you can see how important it is by looking around the world, and you'll see that it's central to all religious traditions. No.
재장 다 저바 처음 해봐 용야디 아니 디 금진디 주로 가서서 메다메다 송고요래 이내야 낭배 저바 처 매바 치워야디 따바 딘중 두고요 따바 딘중 사대.
Now the different religions might have different reasons for why they think that it's important, non-violence, why they think it's important. So now, but in Buddhism, what it comes down to is where the idea comes from is from dependent arising.
Oh yeah. 다 재상 따와 딘중 산디 아니 뭐의 내지 가서르다对呢主把引吧딘중显了对过引吧显了单过个有你三界忙我这南不嘛都沙巴穷下嘛的我有那就大概
So this view, as we call it, the philosophical view, the world view of dependent arising, which is basically what it comes down to is everything exists depending upon something else, in relation to something else. So this is something that the Buddha taught, but it's not this. It's not something new that he invented somehow. It's something that's he simply taught how things actually are and how things always have been. No.
뭐야 어디지 다 간다 저거 처음에 참저 고야인데 따와 딘중 두요 따와 딘중사 가랬으나 아니 이게 참바 잡아서 라는 디기 연구요 디기 내가 디기네 타라 땡게 대봐서한테 오 딘중사 때는 연구요 대선상 따와 딘중사인데 아니 랑게 디두티 될라라래 랑 대와 되나 따와 딘중 때는 아니 참저 고야 오도 전에 딘중사 딘데 랑게 디두를 두고래
The way in which non-violence, loving kindness and compassion come from the idea of dependent arising is that we all, if we want short-term and long-term happiness, that depends upon loving kindness and compassion. No.
어디지? 딱 간다. 딘중 될이야. 또는 투바 이바. 어다 간다. 딘중 사디 신의 또고 이바디. 신아 삼로당 김제 안트 바 콤바체 디치기데 미디 고양아 요래. 슴 고쳐버나 신체 고양아 요래. 된대래.
And if you understand dependent arising, in other words, if you understand how everything depends upon something else, depends upon other things, and you really think about that and you meditate on that, then you become a person who's much more easygoing. It's like it opens up your mind. No.
나란조 배 가서래. 야 람바네스는 디그리 딱 간다. 오, 나란조 사제, 동제, 권제, 갈래 갈체비니 상마 딘중 사들 때는 지요. 더 고마대상 못된 마된 하고 말. 된다. 딘중래. 나란조 김상지게 날이니 딘중 하고는 고향을 요래. 김상나 참바 요래. 다가난신 척바 총다. 아니 강게 털 내가 강털 딘중디 학 대순 고츠 디는 고향을 열어라 탑시 많고 지도해 어두스인 그래
Really, from the time we get up in the morning, everything, the food we eat, the clothes that we wear, everything that we drink, everything can be understood in terms of dependent arising. And when we have that kind of understanding, then even at home in the family life is going to be more easygoing. And this is something that applies to everything in our work life, whether we are involved in business or whatever it might be. If you have that kind of outlook, then you're going to be more easygoing. Things are going to be more easygoing, and you're going to have also many more methods will open up to you. No.
어떠잖아. 어디지? 딱 간다. 딘중 산디 아니 나란조 오 참저 거야. 디기 용야디 딘중 도그리 제단 딘중디 엔테 구 벌써 고츠 현용나 딘중 비게 따와데 고츠 용나 아니 미디 고양아 요래라 네급 이 디기네 타락하래서나 타르바 땡게 대와 동이 짜와니 매버 sö니 땡게 대와 땡데 타르베 고마서 타르바 코발레 탄 타바 동이 민자 매버 디서 디신 딘중 디신 고요
It's not just that through through understanding dependent arising, you'll see the need for the loving kindness and compassion, but also through understanding dependent arising, as I mentioned, you become more easygoing. You will be able to achieve short-term happiness and also the lasting happiness of liberation, which is completely beyond suffering, where even the you don't even hear the word suffering, and where where you achieve, in other words, liberation, where you're completely free of all suffering. You'll be able to achieve that. No.
상계 좀된데 출루 신다 수직이 마송치 띵중 다바 띵중 사 송거래 띵중 라왕 그 매바 라왕 동바 띵중 사디 티 송과의 김제 가래서나 신수지 마서 송과 김제 가래서나 나란조 대반도 동에 만도 짱짱하래 최장 타르베 대바 토발라 인지미지 디시앙 간다 타바 토다 마도기 디시에나 타바 토발에 띵중 네 마신 타바 토야야 마 제장 각사 얘기요 뭐인데지 딱 가서 손자 오상계 디케바 임도도 말 뭐인데지 손발
This is something that the Buddha taught, and which isn't taught in other religions. Dependent arising is not dependent arising, which really means that there's nothing which exists independently, that in fact everything is empty of existing independently. And so this is something which, if you understand, you can gain liberation. If you don't understand, you will never be able to gain liberation. No.
너도나 최켈링의 연행자 최켈링의 매년자 순대지네 네 땡중사도 뭐네 저래 대송자 네 시야의 하장 개천 보래 되네 되는 참조인 참조 개천 보래 제가 하장 네 개천 보시다 줄로 계자 그게 말해
Actually, in brief, whether you accept Dharma, whether you accept religion or you don't, whatever, it's just a fact. Dependent arising is a fact. And based on that fact, then you have the possibility of loving kindness and compassion. It implies the need for loving kindness and compassion. No.
다 들이마 네 쉬어야 한디 조 쥐어봐 처음에 그저 말해 니조 띵중 동배 통다티마 송구요 띵중 다베 거 송구요래 뒤난게 님부 주뒤뒤 chen 지당 그거 때비네 자정부 시라 송아요 이내야 단다 지부지게 하래 다들 뒤뒤뒤뒤 chen 도시마 쉬어야지 도시
So here what we're looking at on this occasion is not the side of non-violence, loving kindness and compassion. Rather, it's about the side of the philosophical view, and so it is something. I mean, we could go into this in a very extensive. You know, the Buddhist teachings on this are very extensive, but this teaching, with the Heart Sutra, is quite like a summarized or a brief explanation. No.
다잖아. 제가 남괴셔나 티버 치중이 송과 티버 중 두고 첨부. 티버 치중 가래 임비이네. 티버 중인 첨비이네 가래 이네면 디 띵중 따와디 대등이 좀 더 고그래. 찍버래. 띵중사 찍버래. 그래서 땡주버 영. 티버 첨부스나 란자만 신삼지 심지 탐지 등 강가 땡게 대바고야 시도 상계 고마 던더니 디 전주심 연계 될래야 잠닝지 연계 될라 티버 첨부 쓰기요. 전주심 매와 제제 아니 띵중 따와시 고 민중chen 타발을 통해 제 오란지부 베게다 간다 란지부 세네다 조 베게 대 삼바충을 될 딩면서요. 두스레마도 따와지고
In the Buddhist practice, we talk of a difference between the Hinayana, the modest vehicle, and the Mahayana, the great vehicle. So both of these need dependent arising. They need the understanding of dependent arising, and not only that, but they need to understand it in the way that it's taught in the Prasangika system. The only difference between the Hinayana and the Mahayana is with the Mahayana, you're thinking not just of me, you're thinking of all sentient beings. You want to lead all sentient beings to to enlightenment, to Buddhahood. And so, in other words, the Buddhist practices that are more associated with loving kindness and compassion, that's the Mahayana. Whereas with the Hinayana, you're mainly concerned with your own personal liberation. So your attitude is more limited, but both need this understanding of dependent arising. No.
어떠잖아. 어디지? 다 어디 다 지당 비게 간사 다가라서 간사 비게 니 냠네 친여 봐. 될이야. 아니 럼슈다 라마슈스요. 단다 따와 띵용 떠발아야 라마슈고야 말. 라마슈고네. 원본 너번인데 또 살아. 원본 너번 뭐이 봐. 원뒤지네. 라마슈네 패스. 동반이 또 살아. 마동게 레제니세. 다 준대 마버딘데 카시 뒤에나 마도 여러 마도 신 김마도 자원이 라마슈는 또 살지. 신기요.
In general, amongst us practitioners, we differentiate the two main levels of intellect. One is the sharp faculty, one is dull faculty. So whichever of those you might be, even before you've entered the path, so never mind, when you've already entered the path, even before you've entered the path, most people will have understood dependent arising and will have understood emptiness. So it's not the case that to have understood dependent arising and emptiness, you need to have already entered the path, like one of the five paths, path of accumulation and so forth. Even before entering into the path, apart from some exceptions because of the difference in the philosophical system that they might follow, most have already realized dependent arising and emptiness. No.
됐어. 어디지? 다 원본 넘버이나. 다 배트 라마슈네 동번이 또 쳐. 원본 넘버이나. 전주 선보 원본 넘버이나. 가래서나 아니 이게 타워 톱 넣으면도 타워 뭐도 버지 가댕인데 가래도 또 딱제 지그러 봐. 시합 참아요. 년 딱제 제제. 아니 산계 고방서 토반 넣으면도 알레 타워 토반 넣으면도 타워 심보 산계 고방 토반 넣으면 톱도 내 톱도 넣으면도 어디 타워를 가리고도 근데 제 딱제 체네 제바 체네 다 타워 톱도 요 타워 요 봐. 용서 셴네 아니 신네 비게 가사 다 라마 슈거라 베게 아니 가르선 다 캘링기로 봐 타워서 캘링 가리 있는 두스제 데레도 저도 온 거는 뭐 이나 라마 슈네 딱딱 디디 다제 제 강가 제니 녀바니 사데 아니 동문이 또 사데 딘데 임베
In the case of the bodhisattva of sharp intellect, as opposed to one of the sort of dull intellect, sharp intellect, all of those have realized dependent arising and emptiness even before entering into the path, because before completely being able to commit themselves, they need to investigate whether liberation is possible or not. What it is that they ask themselves, what is it that's blocking me from achieving liberation? What is it that I need to do in order to achieve liberation? And so in order to be able to answer those questions for themselves, they need to understand dependent arising, and they need to have realized emptiness. Then when they see that liberation, when they fully understand that liberation is possible, they can accept the idea of liberation, and then they can really commit themselves and enter into the path. No.
Oh yeah, what is it? 다 럼슈 칸사이나 아니 다 조람 통람 곱람 밀로람 시어봐 람가 여어봐 람가에 나고 당보 소람이야 소람 충 소람 딩 소람 침지 소람 숨쉬 다 디나라 소람 딩 이제 동이 또왜 켜래 저기 내로 동반이 있어도 또왜 켜래 딩중 동바 또왜 켜래 다 소람 충은 나야 마동이 시브점 때때스 다 치다마에서 준다마와 여러와 하시 어 딘디에서도 야 개베 신이 개베 라무 슝노 야고 요새지 또 되게 동반이 마도 혼에 딘디치 슝이 시바점 용용래 하장 용용 소람 충을 어디마도 시간을 소람 가서 원문도 보이는 라무 슝의 동이 또 쳐. 어 간다 또 쳐. 원부도 보이네 라무 슝의 동이 또 망셔래 마동이 때때스 다 가다 시브점 도체제 딘데레도 도잖아.
No. If we think of this in terms of those who have already entered into the path, so that means we're talking about those who are on the who are on any of the 5 paths, which means the path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, path of meditation, and then the path of no more learning. So the first of those paths, which is the path of accumulation, that's got 3 levels: the small level of the path of accumulation, middle level, and the great level of the path of accumulation. Once, even once a bodhisattva has reached the middle level of the path of accumulation, they've definitely already realized emptiness. There's no question. On the small path of the path of accumulation, it's just about possible to find a bodhisattva who has not yet realized emptiness. Like, for example, somebody whose philosophical view, their outlook is according to the Vaibhashika system. So they've entered into the path because they were encouraged by their guru, but they didn't yet realize emptiness. So that's possible, just about possible. Otherwise, everybody else, all other bodhisattvas, apart from those very few possibilities, have already realized emptiness. No.
못하잖아. 어디체? 딱 간다. 아니 디베 개첨부래라. 디베 토마 타고요. 이내 다 디덕네 또 말해. 내 신 말씀 자원에는 기요. 디 가르성에만 아주 다때 암조 녀다 간다 디시도 박자 예배 따라봐. 딘중 따배고. 디 손인장 오 니를 잡아치. 디 개첨부写다 임버디 셰버체니. 아니 뭐네 타는 거라서 밀려내 니님 붙이래요. 원디 손장 오다 디 네 또 두고래 시그래 삼바체 인지민지 오도슬로도 깨나오래.
This is something then which is extremely important, and at the beginning it's quite hard to understand, but even though it's hard, don't ever make the mistake of thinking, I couldn't possibly understand this, I couldn't possibly get this realization, because we all have the imprints. It's clear that we all have the imprints from of this kind of teaching, and if we try, if we keep trying, keep applying ourselves, then we'll be doing something really worthwhile with our lives. So it's really important to always think to oneself, this is something that I can do. No.
어떠잖아. 어디지? 다들 마시고 인다다. 오. 그소래. 딘중 따외 거디. 지나 라모신 또 다 이내야. 단 디나 손선 다 소람이야 투상기. 아니 비게 투상 다 투상체. 투중 실기 딘데 손여다. 알리 누르 제비네. 아니 조람 거돌이야. 공중 여바지 동이 또 차르다. 공중 여바지 야 녀마다. 디체. 통람 내거서 녀마다 무슨 치마치시. 지엠바. 어도 스토버들 내가 토마 또 왔어. 토마제라. 어디 그래서 토마 치마치시 다추 내용이 뭐 거의 이바데 무슨 또들 통남서 통배랑.
Now, when you're on the path of accumulation, then you apply yourself to listening and studying the teachings on emptiness and reflecting on their meaning, and through that you get the wisdom that arises from listening, the wisdom that arises through contemplation. Then when you achieve the path of preparation, your realization becomes stronger, and it becomes the kind of what we call the wisdom that arises from meditation. And when your insight into emptiness is direct, non-conceptual realization, at that point, you've achieved what we call the path of seeing, which is so cool because it's when you first see the truth, in the sense of seeing it, directly, like without any kind of conceptualization. No. And then on the path of meditation, you don't realize anything new. You're realizing emptiness that you realized before. You meditate on that which you've already realized before. Before you had a direct realization, non-conceptual realization of emptiness. This is also a direct realization of emptiness. But what's different is that on the path of meditation, then you meditate on the emptiness of more things. So what you're meditating on the emptiness of becomes more extensive. No.
Sungme, Soven, Dushime, Namrashime, Mingme, Navame, Chime, Lumi, Yime, Sungme, Trame, Chime, Rome, Chime, Mikame, Yi, Nabashi, Kanji Pado, Meadow. Mariwe, Maritimaro, Mariwe, Mariseven, Kashime, Kaseva, Tisu Dungeva, Gunjon, Gobada, Lame, Ishime, Toa, Madobayan, Toa, Madobayan, Meadow, Otiba inside. Tipota, Kongama, Latan Sunguyer.
And so looking at the Heart Sutra itself, yeah, so anyway, we're carrying on from where we left off last time, which means it's from where it says, in fact, what I'm going to read out is the section that describes the way of practicing on the path of meditation. So it says, Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, no phenomenon. There's no eye element and so on up to including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There's no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to including no aging and death and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There's no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. So it's up to there. No.
This one, that in the D. Pungungan, the Tango, Pungunga, or Dimasungu, Pungunga, Rawanga Mabati. Pungunga Mad, so mad or so Pungusura, so Pumbo, so mass, so Rawanga Met. Piggy, 10 years work, also Rawang Met. Master Rawanga Met. Ramsing Met, Rawame Chipper, Rawame, so mad, so Wame, Dujime, number shiver for you, Mr. Pungati, Rawanga Met.
No. So first of all, he's teaching about the five aggregates. So when it says no form, so that means there's no form aggregate. And of course, when it says there is no form aggregate, what it means is there's no independently existing form aggregate, which is the same as saying there's no form aggregate that exists by its own nature. Why? Because the form aggregate is a dependent arising. So then it goes on to mention the other, the rest of the aggregates. So first of all, you've got one by one the five aggregates. No.
Oh yeah. That the Javachidan Tangu you Tungi Shijosaja. Oh, big what a di Nangshin Cheche, Javachi, Chidan Chana, Chibuchian, Inanti, Tangelia, Pungungetan, Mess, Rawang Mess. Tanta Disunga Karesana, Sanjay Chumden Degi, 최 탐제 라왕 요 말에 이내야 땡 팝스티 뒤제 땡 풍풍아 계지 중에 감적이 되서 풍아 계지에서 어디 숨스기도 풍관기 어디 땡을 파야 돼 이 개침을 해야 돼요 어디 손상 또 그래서 나라서 이게 다도 두 번째야 또 디송 인상 디가 나 땡을 팝나 그래 당구 풍풍아 계지 중에 감적에서 손도잖아
So the way to meditate on each of these would be with those 4 factors that were mentioned before in relation to form, where, just above actually, where it says form is empty, empty is form, and it's not other than form, form is not other than empty. So the same kind of meditation. So that would be the same. And the reason why these are particularly selected, singled out for to talk about their emptiness. So you've got the 5 aggregates, then there's the elements, and then the sources. So those are all dealt with, what you call listed one by one. The reason is that even though, of course, everything is empty, everything is dependent arising, but these are particularly important. They have a particularly important role in our, grasping at self. No.
예제 강가 디제 사면 디메제 강가 땡데를 봐 땡데 디창 킹거를 봐 땡데래도 디제는 다 디제 인내라버 귤 땡네 아니 제부 중월에 규견 땡 중으로 디제 어디래 다 디제 카셔야 규스타고 어디 제부 땡이야 규스타 어디들 디레 중어 말이야 디레 다요 봐 도스래 다 디마체 되죠 디마체 컨디션이네 나라서 난가사디 디마체 딱와라 난바사디 토레 가서 매봐 텔레 때는 난거 샤브레 토레 가서 매 루이션 난가 루이션고요 그때 토야 다려야 메인 텔 난가서 봐 어디 딱와래 어디한 덴데레스 덴중 아니 나라도 어떠잖아
No. So there are 2 types of two types of things. We've got compounded phenomena, what we call compounded phenomena, which means phenomena, things which come into being depending upon cause and conditions, and non-compounded phenomena, which are ones which are static. They don't come about depending upon cause and conditions. So all of these are dependent arising, but with the compounded phenomena, it's much easier to see how they're dependent arising, because they come into being depending upon causes. Very simple. So actually, it works both ways. We can talk about the way in which results, depending upon their causes, which is very straightforward. Then on the other hand, also the cause depends upon its effect, in the sense that something can only be considered to be a cause because it produces a result. So on one level, then the causes also depend upon their results. But then with the non-compounded phenomena, it's not like that. So an example would be space. So space in this system is considered to be a non-affirming negation, which is a mere negation of tangibility and obstructiveness. But even though it's not a compounded phenomenon, still it is a dependent arising. No.
도체 어두서래 다 간다 간가 참마 때 나란조 아니 타바다 khoba 타와서 kho바산디 레 khoba 동이 손자 kho바라 동이 그런 신지 딜레 kho바 딜레 타바텔라 대바 용이 텔라 땡게 대바 요다 타르바시 kho발 때네 타르바 심지를 때네 상게 그거 몽바 아니 거기 가서 우리 비 오다 비 디바 용이 다 디바 요선 강가다 럽투 마디니야 지단 상마 겐게 어딜라 센진체 가서 상계 큰 뒤밖에는 용조 무슨 킨데니 땡기 대법에 강top 되니 오 두숨 지자 킨데니 상계스 될 때니 상계샤 상계 때니 셈지 모두 샤오로 봐
Everything is established in reliance upon something else, like, for example, samsara and liberation. They only exist relative to each other. So we have cyclic existence or samsara, which is in the nature of suffering, and liberation is freedom from that. It's the lasting happiness of being that comes from being completely free of cyclic existence. So that's liberation. And then when we talk about Buddhas and sentient beings, when a being is free of the obscurations, that's an enlightened being. When they're not free of the obscurations, when they still have obscurations, that's a sentient being. So they're posited relative. They're also, something they also exist relatively. No.
What is it? 아니 약보다 도자사디 야가 줄땐 도샤브레 도가 줄땐 야가 샤브라 코라랑 게 요. 그래서나 야고 인사디 도가 줄땐 야고 샤브리 딜레 야갈래는 코 도자 차다 딜레 야는 코 도자 차 어 딘데라 봐그 될 샤브마도 그 라마이는 그 디큐프 말아 봐 그렇습니다 딜레 용 말아 봐
And likewise, bad and good. So when we say something is good, it's relative to something which is worse than it. And then when you come across something which is even better, then relative to the one which is even better, the one that you were calling good, now you say that's the bad one, that's the good. So they exist in relation to each other. And they don't exist independently. If they existed independently, then something would have to be good or bad without any kind of reference to anything else. No.
제장 양 누구 스티디 잠바 아니 딜레 도톤 거 도울 게 차고요 말이야. 그 딜레 때네 아니 가시에 들어가 마 강에 쇼 장원에 단에 되게 동의지 현대 통은 애들 동의 개념도 현대 때는 랑 동의 많이 봐. 랑 강에 쇼이 딜레 두고 딜레 통은 딜랑 강에 개념 봐. 어 딘데지 때네 도 딘데레 때네 샤브레.
Like, for example, when a person thinks of their own situation, you think, oh, everything is just so bad, everything's so difficult, I have so many problems. Then they see somebody else who's much worse off than they are. Then when they think of themselves again, it's like, oh, my situation is fine, it's nothing really. No, it's like relative to what they have, I don't even have problems at all. No.
내망도 되게 나 친구 간래야. 아마지 아마디 아니 가서래. 다 부니요. 부니기 부친구 간 부고 배 친구. 대가는 아마디 셔리죠. 아니 미 통주제 나다 도자래서 배대. 대체 다 아마디 강에 전 부고 되서 다 셔리래. 강거 도도 말해. 아 달라왜 그 지도 엔 부고도 캐 배든 짠 심이 된데 부자로도 되는 파수게 된데 부 분이 열에 뭐 된데 제제 서비스 다 대간 미통중 yap주천 아마디 된데 양샤 저봐 디지 저는 알아서 가나 여버도 딱 강이 가야 말아 봐 된데 양샤 다 주고다 부팅이 아메도 라고래 다 킹이 내서 신다 수준 되마다 내 된데 캐자 캐kwa래 된데 서브는 아 배셔리 좀 딘데체 미 nhập 주다 딘데체 셰브시 두주고 부팅이 배하고 쇼요래라 아마 개바크로 다 아마 문제잖아 시부지 부야고 신이 요래 딘데체 먼저 동발해 딘데 시래 제가 어 딘데 강에 딘데 중앙 요래.
Like, for example, when I was young, where I lived, there was this woman with two children, two little children. She herself, she didn't have the arms and legs, so she had, it's very difficult for her to take care of her children, and she had to like carry them backwards and forwards, just like with using her mouth, just like a cat carrying the kittens, the backwards and forwards. So and people would put her down, and people would criticize her and so on like that, because of being disabled in that way. But in the end, actually, those two children turned out to be really very good. So but anyway, when you see somebody like that with their difficulties, then you think to yourself, I'm fine. I don't have any problems at all in comparison to her or that person. No.
어떠잖아, 어떠지? 어떠디 가사던데 숙매 조면 두시면 나브라시에 매서 풍공아티 뒤콘 휴차로 지버리 뒤라 왕게 매지 풍공아버티야.
No. Okay, so it starts off in this section then talking about the five aggregates: form, feeling, discernment, then the compositional factors, and consciousness. So those are all the same. It says they don't exist. In other words, they don't exist. Independently. No.
Oh yeah, 다 봉도 깨고 리기든 수마당 시체 토마 봉부에는 풍부 명다야 돼 풍부사대 토마 수다 지망부 봉부도 수 풍부 소바망부도 소외 풍부사대 토마 봉부 인상 풍부 체제 명도 다 도잖아.
When we say aggregate, it's a name that's used to indicate the fact that each of them is sort of like a collection of many different things. That's why it's called an aggregate form, aggregate, and so forth.
다 디오데 계지 중이 메나오데 계지 중이 계지스나 계외 고제변의 계지스 그거스나 다오 계지 중이요 계지들 그래서나 난게 계지 조당 치 계지 주스 난게 계지 주 그래서나 미나와나 지류 그래서 말 미나와 남의 지메 류미 이메 보도 매송도와 어디 난게 계지 주체.
Then it talks about the so anyway, now it talks about the 12 sources, the 12 ayatanas. So of those 12, you've got 6 which are the inner sources and 6 which are the outer sources. So the 6 inner ones are where it says no. Do you know? No, I should look at the English. Actually, should know. So in English it says there's no eye, no ear. So the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. Those 6 are the 6 inner sources. No.
어디지? 다 치계지 중이디 애니들 가사. 수매 다음에 팀에 로메 레자메 최매도 제 두도가 수 어들마한테 치계지 중이서.
Then the 6 outer sources would be the next 6, where it says visual form, sound, odor, taste, object of touch or tangible, and phenomena. No.
뭐지? 다들라 계지사 다야디 계외 고제변의 계지스. 단다 미 도사 단소나 아니 수 통구로 봐 계외 고치 봐. 아니 다 나베 때디 좀 받고 뒤에도 고고라다 고치 봐 당신 계외 고치베 계지스 명도스다. 도시 계지 중이데.
So why they're called sources is because because of the fact that they open literally, they open the doors of production. So what this actually means, what that actually means is, like, so, through the eye organ, that the eye organ sort of like opens, creates the opening to be able to see visual forms. The eye organ opens you to being able to perceive sounds and so forth.
어디지? 되니 컴 접게 딱 컴다. 컴 접게 사디 미나오디 내리샤. 럭시 매버디 미기 컴 매봤네. 이기 컴에 이게 남바시베 컴기 봐도 안 매도 디난 뒤샵 접게티.
No. Then you've got the 18 elements. So actually this is included in those these two this one line where it says there's no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. No.
뭐야? 다들 컴사디 가레스나 그릭 그래 컴레 링컴레 그 딘디 지레사죠로 디서 제제 아니 컴사디 다가다 사면도 그렇지. 스그레 다 사면 단도 맹가라서 사면도 배서로 디츠티 기지스는 야기한테 디츠체 뭐 딘디 제제 간다 다 명다야 다가래 어 딘디 지 컴사디 딘디 다 도치 딜 접게 유스
No. Comes in as seven double chiku kudus rebe.
어 사면도 우르치다 사면도 우르시그레 다 가르서 컴사디 그 컴딘디 지레사치 콜 직 가보 요래 그 컴코라들이 직사지 열봐 어 디스토리 지레다 컴사디
Yes.
그래 시그레 사죠
No. So why they're called elements is, I mean, normally we say element for this word, the Tibetan word kam. The way that we usually use this word kam in Tibetan is, it's like we talk about, we would say, oh, they have such and such, they have this, that's their nature, that's the kind of person they are, so it's like, it actually is equivalent to the word rig, which is like type or kind. So anyway, that's where the name is derived from. So yeah, there are 18 of those, and so they're also like seeds. The 18 elements are like seeds. No.
어떻잖아. 다 명다 그 답으로서 따르면 그 레스가 맞다 양도.
No.
对呀. 명다다.
So this is just to do with like the meaning of that term. No.
다들 컴 접게들 라 가르선 당보. 된 왕부 딱된 왕부 컴투스. 된 왕부 컴투. 디 가르선 미나나 제류이 스터벌 요르바. 어디 두텔라 거사 딱된 왕부 컴 왕부. 나라서 미데데서 차리를 통해 나부터 나온 딱가 나디 왕부 줘봐. 딜 왕부 단다 라파티 통해서 미 통해서 타바 챈베 하장 타보 미트와 딱간다 되는가도 되나 미게 뒤래나 송여봐. 배 사모타보다 근데다 ken하고 그러가 하장 타보 오다 디체제 딱간다 쑥 오다 딘디시 디제 왕부 땡 왕부 감투 우체 this one.
No. So of these 18, we have first. There are three groups of 6 that go to make up this 18. So the first group is called the 6 elements, which are the faculties. Sometimes we say faculty. Sometimes we say organ. The eye organ, eye faculty, which are the bases. Okay, so the 6 elements, which are the faculties, which are the bases. So that would be where it says eye element and so on up to the mind element. So when we talk about the sense faculties, like for example, in the case of the eyes, it wouldn't be the physical eye that you can see and that you can touch, but rather it's a very subtle form which exists as inside the eye organ. So it's something very subtle. No.
어디체. 대 원부 컴투체. 땜반 남시는 텔레텐데 남시. 미게 남시 내 남시 제 남시 남시 되어라 두여라 와. 이게 남시 봐도. 어디라 땜반 남시 컴라고 그러 봐. 어디 두체. 시바디게라고요.
No. Then you have the 6 elements, which are basically the 6 consciousnesses. So they are referred to as the consciousnesses which depend on that, depend upon those faculties or those organs. So that would be, eye consciousness up to mental consciousness.
No, teacher. That then 미고 유지 컴디 가르스나. 다 미기 유를 가르스나. 미기 남시 통야 가르스나 소로 봐. 어느 소다 티로 렉자 최파도 어디 치유선디 이거티게라 미버레다. 그 미고 어디서 미고 유지 컴도스. 다 등기지 버레. 다데 컴 스탑.
No. Then the next 6 are the objects which are focused on by those consciousnesses. So they're also called, they're also called elements. And so, when we say the object, which is the focus, focused on by the different consciousness. So in the case of the eye consciousness, or in other words, visual consciousness, that would be visual form. Then for the ear consciousness, it would be sounds and so forth. No.
어떻게나 다디 아니 가벨이야. 나만 다 가벨이야 봐. 선생님께야 온디게 간가 레레세 여입니다. 여를 송샤. 단다 디타 벽가 나나 미키 캄 매반 이캄 파도에 매도스다. 파르세제 디 고대 버려 봐 간가. 그래서 주 로자베 주 되게 인스. 된 송보에서 어떻게
Now, in the original Sanskrit, these were all listed one by one explicitly, whereas in the Tibetan, it's expressed much more concisely, and this was a choice of the Tibetan translators. No.
어떻게 다 풍간 끼지 되게 아니 라왕게 메스 고텐데 이 체제 오다 건 제바 치서도 카가르 모두 집어치단 집어치기 하라 라왕 매 어떻게
And in this way, what the sutra is saying is that the aggregates, the elements, and the sources, none of them exist. In other words, none of them exists independently. So the way of thinking is exactly the same for all of them. It's just the object that you're analyzing will vary. No.
어떻게 다디 오들라야 머리고 매번에 그래서 머리고 매번 그래 머리고 세와 매번 거심 들어봐 가사 가사 머리고 매번 머리고 세 받아 매도 사지 봐 가사데 가사다
마리밤에 세밤에
머리고 머리 세와 그래 받아 매도 사 어디 땡디 중에 숨고요 땡디 연락 중에 사지 봐 어디 간지야 버친
No. Then it goes on to say there is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. So here it's going through the 12 links of the 12 links from ignorance up to aging and death. No.
머리 세번 거시 세보다 매도 세보다 매도 다들 땡디 연락 중에 롱종다 롱도 셰 롱종선아 아니 머리에 왕게 아니 그래서 머리 왕게 두지 왕게 남시 두스마 방아지 미게 거시포도 마 khobar khotan jaro wa otima tende yana ju lungjung sma do che no lungdo sana gashi te khane chungdo gaba de shiba dongye ya khane chungdo geba insa khoba geba sa chi khoba geba khane chungdo do ya tene tar 이게 레사 중에도 머리 걸어 봐 오공 투서 머리 봐 tende 가서 tende 그네도 하마고 체체 오 동원이 마도 없이 다 간다 머리 거 사줘라고 최근에로 머리 거 어디보다 또야 되나 누시야 또 롱도스래
with the 12 links, we've got the forward order and the reverse order. So when we talk about the forward order, what that means is that because of ignorance, karma, because of karma, the consciousness, and so forth, all the way up to aging and death, which is the last of the 12. Then the reverse order would be when you're thinking, well, so aging and death, where did they come from? They come from being born in psychic existence. Where does the birth in psychic existence come from? And so then, you know, you keep, if you keep investigating, then you see finally that it's because you created karma. And why did you create that karma? Because of ignorance. So it all traces back to ignorance, which means not realizing emptiness. No.
제가 다 롱도 시제. 야 롱도는 머리고 봐도 빵부이나 세바사도 빵부 쓰러봐. 아니 미네 이게 뭐고 머리고 되면은 엔테만 레사요 때만 거시 요마 간 코바코라 요마 다 동이 감각 좋아 버려 봐. 될 롱도 쓰래. 또 어디 두슬래 도잖아.
And then also when we talk about the you know, the reverse order, it refers to the fact that because here it says there's no extinction of ignorance, right? So if you extinguish, you know, in other words, if you get rid of the ignorance, then you'll get rid of the karma. If you get rid of the karma, then you'll get rid of the consciousness that receives the seed of the karma, and so on up to the aging and death, which it will also be extinguished, will cease. No.
뭐야? 아마 상계 좀 내데 슈베고 셰슈베 크돌이야. 아니 개부터 파서 나다리 더 자가나 개부 망고래도 어디도 개가 망고. 대성장 아니 단도 상계 슈세데 개부터라 아니 거사 개부 수진님 무서 봐. 개부 수진님 파 차다 레딩이 님바테 이게 다 레메부 인사래. 배니 퍼조 개부디 우대연사데 다 덮침보다도 뒤 rum부치 들고 고고에 맞세 rum부치기 우셔 샤모치 개불 샤모치고 샤모치 배도 뭐네 타네 징단 태봐 뭐네 됐다 세드무 디시인데 도저 팔람 거래 근데 세제 때단들 다 디파래 다 투구야 말해 디레 총어래
In there's this you know there's this story, history behind the 12 links, which is that at the time of the Buddha, when the Buddha was actually in the world, there were many kingdoms in India at that time, many kingdoms, many kings, and the one who was king where the Buddha was living was called Zujinimbo. So I think this is a Bimbisara, King Bimbisara. So he sent some very, you know, fine cloth, because that's what they produced, you know, in his kingdom, to this king, a distant king in a place called Odiana. So then, in reply, that king sent many jewels, and not just jewels, but also like a hat that was, or a crown made of must have been a crown. Anyway, a hat made of gold, and also not just gold, but like covered in diamonds, and it was just so amazing. The Bimbisara felt unable to think of something that he could send to that king that could possibly match or exceed it. No.
Oh yeah, 어디지? 때니다 파 랭고하면서 상계 쉬어버려 상계 다 개부 수준인 거. 다파 랭가고 파 가대어 당 안전 되는 민두스. 수시단사다 민두스 상계 좀 되대.写过 나네. 근데 얘나 중이 됐다 등산 지금도 와. 오 근데 티제 파당 제제. 뭐도 티니 아니 티 차니 아니 배딩 원에 다른 코징 좀 다가는 시 아니 디나 감망고요. 오, 다 배문에 아니 세다 무다. 에, 뭐 다간다 뒤서 rum부지 되게 감세 바 뒤로 짜침 붙이지. 단대 뒤서 거래 배 짜침 붙이 인기를 봐 지금 티나. 오 도체제. 아니 다들 짜침 붙이 땅이 개복하나 산장보다 수가 쉬었지. 오수가 베스 제제 파탄샤다 파탄디 예배 캔자 공도 더저자 신부터 찬이야 말 캔자 가르를 신상 개우자에네 간다 상담보도 용이 아니 대칭 제도 잠바 어디게 다 감망고요 또 응원 제도 근데 세버 콜로 사트 다나 세버 콜 창하고 사지도 같은 상가서 되게도 어디 컴바티즈 곱ጆ어 어디래 티틴 텐테테니 엔텐데 연락 중이 그 돈다 돈 코바를 막 코단다 코바를 타단 또니 아니 코바 코야 또 머리 보다 디나는 지난 친구들 왔다 알랭에 말람 되기도 해
올라래.
제장 타이게야 돼봐 아니 롱안마 진짜 머리보 두지 거시보도 봐 꼬라게 봐 코바도 배 꼬라 태대로 봤지나 두 스마 꼬라게 머리보 이게 머리보 뒤왕 강가 코베나 동이 강가 용다 대체 아니 디네 코바를 디 머리보왕 가르 되게 코는 가르 코사디 디나데 아니 로바리 로체체 다디 창가르죠 하체 사망이 디콩이야 좀 하 아니 그래서 미 이다 둔두 그체도 오다 두세요 봐 가다 창가르죠 어디체 디게사디게시 코베나나 다디네 아니디 코바 덴도 당연도 사디 야디기 일레가나니 기들레 까부체는 코베나나 아니 기네 상하기 랭nem바치는 기네 두자기야 디체 다디게 잡아디 기기대야 아니 녀모 투숨 투투거디 녀모 투숨 지어 녀모 투숨 될 티모들 파과티 파과서들 베다 티모 몽바 차시 찍어 티모체 파괴 칸에 아니 류지다 아니 맙자튼 다등이 맙자데 착과체 아니 류디 희나이 미게체 오 몽바의 왕의 차단이 있으면 대왕의 레 까나니 사 단달레 까부치니 양도하지 나부터 겨울지 안데 계사도 비게기 다 간다 땡데 이나 중인데 코스도 되게 우도세레 던다 제단데 우리 연애배 떠버려 하코니 아니 공기 뒤던다도 군 다시 뭐터 터버터 공기 맛에 다만 고치 그거 또 어떤데 터지 루교요 도잖아
So Bimbisara asked the king, not the king, Bimbisara asked the Buddha what he could do, because, it's like he just couldn't think of anything that could match the gift from the king of Udayana. And so following the Buddha's advice, he had a tanka, a picture made with the 12 links on it. And in fact, this is what we know as the wheel of life. The wheel of life, which you see very often on the doors of the different temples, the various temples. The Tibetan temples. If you look, you'll see this drawing, and of course, it would have been made on very fine cloth with all sorts of precious substances and so on. So anyway, so he had that picture made following the instructions of the Buddha, and he sent a message to that king, the king of Udayana, that he should come right to the borders of his kingdom to receive this gift, like receiving a VIP. So when he opened it, then he saw this the wheel of life in 5 parts. It's, that's what it's called. Sibikolo Changava, the 5-part wheel of life, and you'll see why it's called that 5-part wheel of life in a moment. What he saw and what this wheel of life drawing shows is how it is that we take birth and wander in cyclic existence, and also how we are liberated from cyclic existence. So this drawing mainly depicts a circle, and at the outside of the circle, one by one, you have the 12 links: ignorance, karma, consciousness, going all the way around to the end of the circle, which has got the aging and death. So that explains the process of taking birth in cyclic existence. And then inside that, so that's like an outer band. Then inside that, there's a band which depicts the 5 realms of cyclic existence, counting the gods and demigods as one. So then you've got the demigods and the humans, which are the good places to be born, and then the 3 lower realms, which are the bad places to be born. And so this picture shows that when you create good karma, good actions, good deeds, then you'll be born in those good places. When you do bad actions, then you'll be born in the bad places. And then within, so that's another ring that shows that. Then inside that, or band, then within that, right at the middle, there are 3. There's a drawing of 3 creatures, and that shows clearly the mental afflictions under whose control it is that we create those different karmas. And so it shows a pig, which represents ignorance, and then in the mouth of the pig there, he's like holding the tail of or the ends of the 2 other creatures, one which is a snake, which represents anger, and then mabja, so this would be a peacock, which represents attachment. So those 3 creatures, which are the origin of the karma, which makes us born in the 5 places of cyclic existence, in the process of the 12 links. And so that king, the king of Odiyana, he was able to understand that by looking at this picture, and through his understanding, he was able to achieve the level of arhat, completely free of cyclic existence. And not only him, but many other people saw this picture and also achieved liberation. No.
Oh yeah, that's it. And the simple quality in simple, just simple misani serva. Simple just so jam to simdiba. Chatan dinala, Quabena the Yuze Ganga, Chivale Tayo Mars, Chida Shinji Chundri, or Chatan Dinan de Yuamas, the towers. Oh, Dini Womigaya Yigio. Zamba Chashi, Yumacha, Sage Demajo, the making lunch, Chida Dini, Shombacha, such a dinner Takanda Tijan Yerba. Dick had a lamden sungu, lamden. To ding till a taguna, lamden, Tongani sa dog. Chu Nelu dog what? Zamba Yuma, Sage the being Chida and Shomba, consider the Chudu, give a cover of Dungetama Cheva Sajiba, or the lamden sungu. Then you ganga. Dawaka was the Sange jumped in the cushion, Changzu did. The Tarba, Tabasong, what Tawal Shicks. Del Dungi Yamas, Tarba Tosana, Dungi, Simbu Kala Yamakan, given a Sachon Yama, thank it about Tower, says it, would the Tawal Shicks such, Lamdin Yamsman, Tawal Shicks, then by shitting your touch.
And in these drawings of the Wheel of Life, that whole circle is held in the mouth of a cannibal, and what this shows is that anybody in cyclic existence, or maybe I should put it this way: there's nobody in cyclic existence who is beyond death. Everybody has to die eventually. So it shows that. And so what this picture is saying is, don't stay here. And so then, don't stay in this situation. Don't stay in this cyclic existence. Then at the bottom of the drawing, there are 2 verses, and those 2 verses are all they're all about the truth of the path. In other words, mainly they're talking about about emptiness. And so they're saying, in order to escape from the truth of suffering and the truth of the origin, in other words, in order to escape cyclic existence, this is what you have to do. You have to realize emptiness. This is how you have to practice. And then at the top of the picture, you see an image of the Buddha who's pointed towards the moon, and the moon represents liberation. So, the Buddha is saying, that's liberation. Completely free of suffering, completely free of all difficulties, and if you achieve that, then you'll achieve lasting happiness. No.
어떠세요? 어떤 때 중에 이 롱종 과와 보다 롱도 탈바탑단데 요리 디티앙 라왕게 메스 다 간다 동바지 고는 다가 고는 디고 가봐 공부 이네 말아서 고안 코야 디 랑신기 요 말랑 라왕 메바디 땡디 공부인 디고 어두세제 디테는 고는 디고 어두체 다디 땡디 중에 라왕 메바디 체
So you have those 12, which we can look in terms of the order, the forward order, which talks about how you enter, how you take birth in cyclic existence, and then the reverse order, which shows how to be free of cyclic existence. So there are those 12 links, and yet none of them exists independently, and that's the meaning of saying there is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. No.
대신도 동해바다 군조동 고바다 남에 이심에 토바에 마토바에 메도스 다에 디콘데 대신 동해바다 군조동 고바다 남에 서버도 덴바시디라 마메스 덴바시지나 요하르바 요디 티안 랑싱기 메 라왕게 메체
Then it says simply there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. So these are the four truths which exist, but like it says here, they don't exist by their own nature. No.
야, 다 덴바시디 그냥 킹거 봐 쉽게 죽으면 다고 어디 정심에 어디시 되네 디어디 이심에서도 덴바시라마 당마시 동의도 싫어 된다 나도 공부 동바든 있다면 싫어 공부 싫어 코에 대야 라왕금에 이심에 데려다
So those are the four truths which I'm sure you will understand, so I don't need to explain them. Then it says there is no exalted wisdom. So in other words, the wisdom realizing emptiness that you need in order to be free of psychic existence, that also doesn't exist independently. No.
어떠세요? 다들 토바면 마토바면 토바산디 다 간다 그 상계 유연의 삼계미죠 또 주도 미집시 뭐고 톱자 요리디 그냥 라왕게 토바요 탕에서 레마도 라왕게 때 제바천이 요마 라왕게 토 마토바요 나도 요르 바타도 유연대 마고 마토바 요르 마토바데 이나 요리 탕에서 요르 마도 라왕게 덴바 토바치 메스 모두 스타치 버려
So then it says there's no attainment. So that means that there are so many things that we need to attain, and none of like the 10 powers of an enlightened being. So they exist, but they don't exist independently. They don't exist by their own nature. And then there's the non-attainment. What we haven't attained also exists, but doesn't exist independently.
어디지 다 되네 고만을야 아니 고는 다 사주체 되니 디제 다단데 이게 상계 토걸로 고는 도지도 우다 군대 이시 쓰기로 어디 딜루즈 되 군대 이시 오 다디 가르스나 대배는 전주 선반은 토와매베 체를 싫어 버려진 바로 땡진 내데스 디오다 상계가 가서 고는 도지도 비딩사도 올랐단 디수고요
Then the next part of the sutra where it says Shariputra, therefore, Shariputra maybe Shariputra Didarala.
Really? So Towamebe Chir, Shariputra Tenji Neti, says to water.
Yeah, so then the next part of the sutra is talking about the way of practicing of the bodhisattva who is just about to achieve enlightenment. So more precisely speaking, that's the gnosis or exalted wisdom at the end of the continuum of the sentient being, which is called the Vajra-like concentration. So that's where it says Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom. No.
뭐야? 어디 다들 저주 선반은 토와매베 칠 토바. 오, 다 비게 라왕거 토와요 말. 요 말이 이때 딱 드메디 싫어 버리시면 된지 내데스. 오다 최탐제 릉싱이 매고 라왕 매고. 딱 한다 배 동반이 무슨 치마치 또니 냠바 샤니 그래서는 디고는 군도 쳐요 말해 남도 같은데 너무 가봐 가야면 배 더나 된바 무슨 슝이 더나 된바 오 샘띵 슝이 된바 무슨 또니 다간 냠바 샤니 아니 네데스 데지 네데 냠샤 될 네네 치마 치신 쓴 다간 네네 디네 주 마다마 디네 계진 이버데 상계도 그래서 네데 타마티 다 semje sal nam to yor nyama ta khanda ti chig mangu jor ba ti ge gang ga kyon zawan ne me ba cheje nga ran so sem shin du thama ta nga chebi na shin du thamo re thamo se ne ta khanda kyon zawan ne me ni sem grang shi dong ba ning musun do chima chi shi ta ga ran ne ni en sang ge ru sang ge sal o ta kyon zawan ne me ni chima chi shi sig dong ni da ba sim bo yi mo o di sung go yor du sa du res sang ge sa
So it says, rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom. So what this is talking about then is, so it says, because there's no attainment, so the attainment exists, but not independently. So we're talking about a mind that is in equipoise, so in meditation, realizing that everything which exists is empty of existing from its own side. And for that mind, there's nothing conventionally existing from the perspective of that mind. The only thing that mind is aware of is the ultimate reality of the mind. So the ultimate truth of the mind. It's a non-conceptual realization. And at this point, because this is like right at the end of the continuum of the sentient being, so that bodhisattva has entered into that meditation, and then they don't leave that meditation ever. So because within that meditation they achieve enlightenment. So then, in terms of the sort of tantric explanations, that mind whose reality this bodhisattva is meditating on would be the very subtle mind. And so then when they, by continuing that meditation, within that meditation, they achieve enlightenment, which is a state completely beyond all forms, beyond all faults, completely, free of any of the disturbing conceptual minds that we ordinary beings have. No.
Oh yeah, that's it. That didn't ma any Milolan loses that Lamgan and Milolan. Sangia sal lobjus, Milolan loses the what dinner. Similar to one maybe, Takwa Mede, store, similar to one maybe, Takwa Mede. Chinjulo in the young David touching those song. Similar to one maybe, Takwa Medes. La Teraba. No. Tagare.
No.
Similar to one maybe, Takwa Mede, Timarwa.
So then next the sutra is talking about the fifth of the five paths, which is called the path of no more learning. So the words of the sutra that indicate that where it says the mind without obscuration and without fear. No.
This one, or similar to one Medes. That's on yes, Alaya. Divaniga, new dips at Savannah, the kind of heat Pajata Mary. Dip Dany, Savannah Mab, Momba Kutsi, cousin Shizzy in the Gankaki, and Deva Gankaki, Tanta Musun King. Shima Chishin, Tintangaranzuina. Tanta carrying the sun is the passion, Tanta carrying the Hakuma, Dip there, Tagana Zigbit in the Poro Shingmanwa, Sanya Tinde Yamare. Man Tarot Shima Chishin, Shuguin, Yonso. Shin, Semji Tenchavalaya, go Tenchiwa Kandido Carson Chiglesa, Tagara, number Carten winner. Number 10, Sugu number 10 Carten win 10. Oh, this Semji Tabandea, Tangi Mabry. Chego sometime Mabry. Oh, Papa, oh, Tindi Cheche. Similar Jua Medis. Oh, Dimican Med, Jua Med. Takwa Medis, oh, 딱밤에 왔다 갈게 딱봐요.
And so it says, without obscuration, the mind without obscuration, right? So what this means is that when you have achieved enlightenment, then there are the two obscurations. So you're completely free of those. You're completely free of the two kinds of obscuration. And you're able to see, and you're not able to see, but you do directly see and understand everything that exists. So for us, we have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't even know exactly what's going to happen today. We can't, if we look at a wall, we don't know what's going on behind the wall. There are so many things that we can't see. But as an enlightened being, you can see all of that, and you're able to help the sentient beings immediately in exactly the way that they need. You can emanate and appear to them in whatever way is going to benefit them without delay and without even having to think, I should do this. It all happens completely non-conceptually and spontaneously. No.
Oh yeah, 어떻게? 딱밤에 친절로래 신대비 양엘에 다치도스. 친절로 신대비 친절로 희요. 오 가사 쌍데 딱다시스. 심지 그 대외 커도 미게 미시베 체제. 아니 류 미장와래 미장와데 장와 시윈상 미장와 장마르지 장마 장와지야 장 되네 동해버래 풍부사된 알아서 수분이 동해버래 지나 너무 추죠 동해버려 봐 동해봐 다 스피게 쇼스를 배 단데 배트 배트문에 전에 동해 끼 쇼저직 수부래 어디 동해버려 그 동해서 뭐 동해봐 동해 영쇼죠 코라 뭐부터 동해봐 동해버리디 대반제 시우시 대바 인삼 도스 배트 친절로 안지 동해봐 대반제 아니 미다고래고 큰 템포면이 그 개인도 개가 내준 디리디 딱반지도 딱반지 심지 그도 배트미게 딱반지 따더니 상대 다 상대 딱다 어다 다 매버 다 매버리 하먹고 제제 아니 배 딱과 말해 그게 다도 좋아 라왕이 요래 선배 유섬서 진대거 봐 어디 다 상계 살았디 친절로 신도 된 당문 답에 근데다 가봐 영향 khoar 신도 되니 양엘 때부터 양엘선 과보샤 틀베 땡게 내가 터버레스 어디 치면 진짜 근데 뒤와 말서 갈게
Then it says having completely passed beyond error. So when it says beyond error, the error that's being talked about here is the four mistaken ways of thinking that we sentient beings normally have. So grasping or believing things which are, well, anyway, grasping at things being pure or clean, then pleasant or happiness, then permanent and self-existent. So one by one, what that means is, so in fact, our body is something quite unclean, and yet we have this idea of it being, being very clean, very pure. Then this physical body of ours is actually in the nature of suffering. However things might be at the moment, it might seem okay at the moment, but it's like at any moment it could turn into real suffering. And yet we think of it as this body as being something very pleasant, very nice. Then also our body is constantly changing. Like, for example, we have from the moment we're born, then we start aging, and then there's sickness, and eventually we die. So actually it's completely impermanent, but we have this idea of it being permanent and enduring. So that's one another, the third mistaken conception. And then the grasping at itself means that although our body is in fact selfless, we don't understand that, and we think of it as being self-existent and existing independently. So as an enlightened being, you're completely beyond all of those mistaken ideas. And then it says they reach the end point of nirvana. Nirvana literally means beyond sorrow. Sorrow refers to psychic existence. And so nirvana means you're beyond psychic existence, beyond sorrow, beyond cyclic existence. No.
못하잖아, 대체. 되네. 뒤숨도 쉬고 상계 탐정 실에 바로 좀 봐라. 때는 라나면 가서 들어봐. 상계 탐정 실에 바로 좀 봐. 때는 라나면 한다고 뭔가 상 계속 사대. 뒤숨 아마 대외 상계 있네다. 다다 상 계신 분 있네다. 뭐봐 상계 있어 있네. 오 람디. 오 람띵종 다 띵종 동배 턴다. 땡데 턴다. 어디 간가 상매대 광니 상계가 샤다래. 인지 미지다. 상매디 시고 공고를 쓴 거야. 다 간다 상계인 간가 네 람디 냥네 chen 치메레스.
Then it says all the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly completely awakened to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. What this means is all the Buddhas of the past achieved enlightenment by reflecting on and realizing dependent arising and emptiness. All of the Buddhas of the present are achieving enlightenment in that way, and also all the Buddhas of the future will achieve enlightenment through meditating on the on dependent arising and emptiness. No.
Oh yeah, 어디 디버도 아니 정주선보다 오부 듀부터도 아니 벨라마 랍단다 곰단티게 오 람랍단테 오투스마 제보체체 고바도 숨버데 되게 다 계시체 어떻지
Up to here in the sutra has been an explanation of how one proceeds along the path to enlightenment in an extensive way. So it's been explained extensively for the sake of those practitioners who have a duller sort of level of intellect. No.
어떻지 다 단디 니와 다 되는마 정주 선보 원본 너보 신도 너보 오다 대솔 람랍단디 숨어데 되는마
And then there is an explanation for the sake of the bodhisattvas who have very sharp faculties, very sharp intellect.
대답에 나 싫어 버리친배 나 스토아 싫어 그러봐 대답에 싫어 버리친배 나 어디 손에 나 다들 나 손에 가래서는 네 너다 나 스니치베 딩아 숨고요 말이야. 디 규디시 사조가 규디시 디 숨고요 말 딩아 사 가래서는 원둘이 되네. 단다 공로 원둘밖에 해보지 시작하고도 시야는 모두 고도가 말로 원원의 배팅가지 뒤뒤시 시야는 고도의 인상 엔베트 나 숨으래 나 사지랑 나 사디 그래서 멘탈아서 다디 산스케 멘탈아서 이교 니 그래서는 아니 이교버티 아니 배트 나다 봐 원에 타는 게 동의 탐제 당도 좀 나송 때는 저거 쉽지 비게 레 하버체 고토고 이벤자 아니 나 원도 되네 엔데라 나 송으로 마도 규디시 나가 나 송요 말했어.
Then it says, therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom. So when it says mantra, this is not like mantra as in sutra and mantra, or sutra and tantra, as we usually say. In other words, it's not mantra as in the four classes of tantra. Rather, what it means is that the practitioner of dull intellect requires a very extensive explanation of things, whereas the one who has more sharp faculties, they only need a very kind of like brief, summarized explanation. And so what's coming out, what this is describing is something which is not a mantra, as in sutra and tantra, but it's like a mantra. So the word mantra it's a Sanskrit word which means protect, to mind protection, something which protects the mind. So it's like a mantra in that way, and it also indicates the fact that these are practitioners that can understand things very quickly and very easily. No. And then it says the mantra of great knowledge. So knowledge is the opposite of ignorance, and so this is the mantra which brings complete liberation from ignorance. No. So anyway, when it says the mantra of great knowledge, so the great knowledge means complete freedom from ignorance. And then when it says the unsurpassed mantra, what that means is that the emptiness that's explained in the sutras, that has been explained here in this sutra, is the same. It's not something which is surpassed, there's nothing superior to it. In other words, what that means is, we have the 4 classes of tantra. It's not that in the 4 classes of tantra there is some version of emptiness which is superior to this one. It's exactly the same as this emptiness. Therefore, it's not surpassed. No. Then it says the mantra equal to the unequaled. The unequaled is the Buddha. So there's nobody, nothing which is equal to the Buddha. So this mantra is equal to the Buddha. No.
Then 동해 탐지 럽도 시버체가. 동해 짜바코라 머리버래. 동해 강가요. 짜바코라 매버 선도 동해 탐지 딱부터 럽시 매버 소도 봐. 동해 탐지 럽도 시버체. 어디래. 현다 남고야 된다. 아니 시당이 뭐야 참바 보면 나와나시 아니 너장이 뭐 믿어 보면 근데 그것도 됐으면 또 짜와니 매버 소도 말 봐. 동의가 매서 동의 싸워도서도 머리고 걸어 봐. 그래서 머리고 싸워는 매서 있어 동의 탐지를 시바스. 럽시바 제가.
And then it says the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering. So what this means is that this is a mantra that pacifies ignorance, which is the root cause of all suffering, and thereby pacifies all suffering. Other methods besides meditating on emptiness can help a little bit, like, for example, meditating on loving kindness to overcome anger, as an antidote to anger, meditating on repulsiveness to overcome attachment and so forth. So they help a bit, but what really gets rid of them and completely gets rid of the suffering along with the root ignorance is only this mantra, in other words, this meditation on emptiness.
어디지? 근데 민즈면은 템바르시바 차트 민즈바 줌버스는 루버 꼭 텔레 이천 가도 루디 민즈버스는 남의 루아메 오 다나디 아니 민즈면 템바시바 템바데 전단 템바스 템바스는 루아메 남의 루아메 이자 디 시에 버리면 어디 아니 민즈면 템바시바 차트 루아메 시바 차트 어디다
So it's the mantra of that wisdom, and then it says should be known as the truth, since it is not false. So false means deceptive, and true means non-deceptive. So this mantra is known as true because of not being deceptive, and it's not false because it's not also again because it's not deceptive. No.
무슨 뜻이 싫어 버리시면 아메 아스타 싫어 버리시면 아 그래서 나야 타 가득가득 빠란 가득 빠라 상고 부디 소하 디리
No.
땅아 비즈모도 면도가 어다 던다간가 요리디 어디 됐음으로.
And so then it ends by saying the mantra of the perfection of wisdom. So what is the mantra of the perfection of wisdom? Tayata gati gati para sangati pudiso. So this is very short, very few words, but it contains all the meaning of everything that has been explained before in the sutra. No.
어떠잖아. 따야타스는 데다데세 벽을 가데스나 벽안에서 송시 스모도 야마. 송시. 다디 가르 고여서나 상게 미게 가사다나 마 송도 아니 송시 당보디 아니 동번이 그게 띵조 동배 튼다라 터상 그 때는 파니 초람 송시 송시 니버디 디 튼단 디버시는 좌람 송시스 우디 송거 여러디 원고 넘버디 티감 거도 튼다 고자마스 또도 고도 쳇 들 라틴 가디 사디오.
Then so this tayata in Tibetan didate, so it is like this. That's what it means. It is like this. Then it says gate twice, right? So gate. Gate in Tibetan, so that means songshik, so it means like go. So it's saying go twice, go. So what this means is with the first go, it means go to the path of accumulation through the process of listening and reflecting, and then through further meditating on that, go to the path of preparation. So the practitioner of sharp intellect would understand that immediately just from that, by saying those words, and would not just realize it, but would not just understand it, would actually realize it and achieve it. No.
Oh yeah. 가디체 파란가디스 파라산디 아니 디 고야 망고 요래 파라산디 베티 베가 가서 파라산디 무슨도 베티 템바 무슨도 같이 사다 야 당벌도 같이 사다 다 간다 디 파라사디 럽사디 베겔 럽다 쇼다 어딘데 당보도 딘데는 주고요. 그 과야 망고요. 당한 좀 배제나 남들이 남들 날디요 빨아요. 어데도 세상 고단 카카시요. 타타단데 디 페지 당보 주고면도. 그래서는 아니 조난 것도 배디 영어턴 뒤여버디 딘 디버첸 통놈도 배 무슨 잠바 통치 사치. 당보 통치. 잠바 당보 통치 사치 고면 로슨 것도 어디 배지 딱 한다. 무슨 당보 통치 사치. Then
it says paragati. Okay, so the gati is the same as before, go, and then the para. So in Tibetan, there are various ways in which this can be understood. When you study, in general, what this word can mean. It can when you study the what do you call it, the Brahmana, when you study Brahmana, valid cognition, then it explains how it can mean like extremely or supreme. Sorry, rub would be like best or supreme or first. So I think it would be more here in this context. It would be like the last of those three, first. So it's because on the path of, it refers to the path of seeing, and go to the first seeing, direct seeing, direct realization of of emptiness. So it's the first seeing of the truth, first direct realization of the truth. No.
Oh yeah, that's it. Parangati. Parasamgati sadwa. Parasamgati buddhi soha. Parasamgati sandi. Ani desigore kasore. Tongni ngusum towe. To chimachi thoma tingi, thoma tingi. Ani dribachani. Ya komni. Nyomaton ta. Gonglang dingayor. Gonglang. Gombar che ni. Ani buddhi soha. Buddhi. 오늘 전주 상계 고방 어디 시축스랑가 다 쓰는데 치마치시 오다 갔다 오치스 오 상계 고방 토치스 뭐야 고도체
So then so then it says parasangati. So the parasangati, so that means like go completely beyond. So so before, go, normally people say go paragati, so go beyond, but actually the way Rinpoche is explaining is like go to the first direct perception of the truth, of emptiness. So then it says the parasangati. So what this is talking about is the path of meditation, and with the path of meditation, you have that you already had that non-conceptual realization of emptiness. So with the path of meditation, then you're, you continue to immerse your mind, in that, to familiarize your mind with that realization, deepen your experience of it until you achieve enlightenment, and that's what's meant by the bodhi. So bodhi soha. So soha is like shizukso, like plant the foundation. No.
부디 소하치 어디 시주스 제가 상계 고만 다다 남 공부를 봐 통하는 거는 되게 그 거래서는 디업 마방 치마치 무슨 통해서 통랑 민다 그래도 그 베티데 도도 지요 말에 랑 그때 뭐 치마치 통랑 뒤든다 공부 제비도 공남 되는 밀어는 다 되는 거야 매 간가 치마치 시점에서 랑 삼기 땡베 그 디업 간가 타네 뒤송자 될 밀어랑 시시 뒤송자 어디 시주 뒤랑 교리게 봐 시송 거야 시주 사도 시주
So on the path of seeing, you see the truth directly, non-conceptually. Then on the path of meditation, you keep going with that practice until finally you achieve the enlightenment, awakening, where you have no more. You don't need to train anymore because you've already achieved everything. You've already abandoned all of the all of the faults and so forth. So then where it says again, where it says the soha, plant the foundation. So that's like an order or an instruction, to realize this, you must realize this. No.
Oh yeah, what is it? That the one level, what that did to us, that dish wire any correct. No, somebody turned duty them to do it, that turned duty then team. Chanju, there was somebody 대답에는 전주 선바 셰르부 봐 셰르부 대답에는 전주 선바는 전주 선바는 그래서 전주 선바 선바치면 대시를 버리지면 선물라 라버를 차고 살도가 오 다다데 아니 오 다티 단다 공을 뒤서만 시 전주 선바 선바치면 선바치면 다 보고 제레스 시를 버리지 못 없으마 송소스 라버를 차고
So that's the explanation for the person of sharp faculties, and then next is a summary. A summary. So it says Shariputra. So this is Chenrezig speaking, right? So Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. No.
다 되네. 다 되시고야. 되네. 좀 된데 띵인진 될래 생디. 전주 점바 삼바침 뭐 파고 째레서 원주라 렉소 시 잡아지네. 리기부 디디신. 리기부 디디 시다 교육 때문에 싫어 버리지 뭐 삼모라. 저거 자대 디시하는 게 계속 일하는 거 쓰지. 다 독서래. 슈데.
No. Then the next bit it says, then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, child of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. No.
뭐야? 어디 되네 좀 되대. 스타트한다디 아니 상계 좀 되대. 아니 띵즈는 명바 흉도 쇼르바 칭길라도 마도 셴네 계송요 말바. 다 송게디야 트버 팅이디 셰리보리 마 송게디 산 젠레스르바. 다 상계 좀 되대 칭길람니. 디송이자 되네 디게 간가 식 다 디버슌 랭간가 치마치지 송차네. 아니 상계 좀 되는데 띵이들 생데스 띵이들 다도 사쇼들이야 생데 생데 다 비게 됐다 뒤저 투모 띵이들 봐 슈고마도 신 거디에 슈고잉 슈고요 슈고잉에 된체 같은 상계를 냠지 개봐요 말에 이내야 단다 디송아디 다 단다 능주기 단다 디 능주 아니 신에야 띵이들 생데 아니 디송소스 띵이들 생데 아니 전주 삼바침 뭐 파고 째레스 원주려야 렉소스 디 현에 송버 렉소스 지라교육이 때 바티시는 싫어 버리시면 제가 차대 제가 아니 파고 째레스 지다 송바는 신 전주 삼바간 게 다가는 신 다가 인냠내 시서 제가 차대 디시와는 게 제수 이런 거 어디 상계 공부 다가 상계 진길럽 송거 한다 디시셔반 남게 지송 디시셔반 남게 지송 상계 좀 되대 맞세 상계 차례 때 탐지 이랑 디시셔반 남게 지수 이랑 다가라 이 디시셔반 탐지 공부 이송 대체 이랑 디시셔반 남게 지송 좀 되게 오다 디시에네 테마도 송요 말에 시에네 테마도 송요 말에 그래서나 시에네 그래서 시에 토문에 송아디 파워지레스 레소 리기부 디티신데 지다교육이 때부터 실에 버리진 소몰라 지아바 차데 디시바는 게 제수 이랑고 상계 시에 토문에 송아 시에네 송베 가스 오디리 다다는 신다디게 이게 저버티는제 셰리부마 저버다 제레스 마 렌송야 될 칭길레베가 상계 까레디 시에네 송요마 칭길람 코나이 저버티는제 마송 거래 디세 This one, that didn't what?
So it says then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, so the Buddha, in terms of the appearance to the ordinary general sort of disciples, the Buddha was in meditation and then came out of the meditation and spoke. Of course, in reality, the Buddha is always in meditation on emptiness. Whatever else is going on, you're always mind absorbed in the ultimate reality. So then he arose from that meditation. So all of this, the talk that's been going on so far has been between Shariputra, who asked the question, and Avalokiteshvara, who answered. And this is still considered to be the word of the Buddha, even though it wasn't spoken from his own mouth. It's still considered to be the word of the Buddha because it's the what they said was due to the blessing of the Buddha. So Shariputra asked a question, and then Avalokiteshvara gave the perfect answer to that. and the Buddha, then what follows is the words that were actually spoken by the Buddha. So he says, Shariputra, the Buddha. No, sorry, I skipped. So he says, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that. It is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. So that where he says, even the Tathagatas rejoice, that gives the blessing of all of the enlightened beings, because he's saying that it's not just, so it's not just the Buddha. This isn't just the understanding, the thought of the Buddha, but of this one Buddha, but of all enlightened beings. So anyway, I think I mentioned that already. So up to here was the word of the Buddha, which was spoken due to the blessing of the Buddha. And so these words were actually, the word of the Buddha were actually spoken by the Buddha. No.
What is it? That didn't deal and shibati. Kwana gane, Zimba Tamja was that gane, or the Tagara, Yamnisha Tizo, Kor Kawayan Shorba, gane, Zimba Tamja was that is shibati and Karesana Diraba. And Jomdigi Tigagi got and settled them by Sharat the report and Chanju Samba Sambacham Power General, want you to Tamja them quarter harder metal Haman to such a GD and the Jomdigi Sumbalong about 3 dollars, or the Tibotore.
So then we have the fourth part of the sutra, which is called the expressing like the joy of having listened to the sutra, and then the upholding it. So it says in the sutra, let's see. So the Bhagavan, having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasava Aravalishvara, and those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. No.
That Tigagi got any. Sangi Tatande Shirin Yungu Tusma Sung, Sangi Jomde de Shet Tomone, any, or Tishman Jesu, you don't want to put the Oti, Sunani Tine, any. Setandamba Shara to Dipuche, Tandaya activity, Sheripota, Changes on Power Generous, Wonjuche, Malen Sungi, on any Tamjet, Tata Yuse, Tamjet de quarter Hata Meta Hamid. Did you Zamba, any Tenganangala Hat, that the best hop, but Shivimango Hamanguche, Kajoko, Hakdengi, any Tabe Shine Pepe, Chanju Simbe, Kanguso, Shito, Duche, and Hata Meta. What I mean, Chidan Mango Yungurva, Tagana, Dajon Basadi. Kasatanda Gelonsa the Dachon by Jangasun, Gungamato, Yonzo Dachon by Imbre. All that did I mission Dashiran or meet, Tata Mita, Hamaida, Tisaja, the Tisaja. The Mango Shivchi Tindi Yavati Ganga Gashingu, Tanda. What did they say? Irani, John de Sumba Bato, Ganga Gashin Kagabe, Developing. What did they Chongson Seche? This Sumba, the Lingshirti, Lingshis or Banjusan.
So this next this part, is also considered to be the word of the Buddha, and it's word of the Buddha, which is what you call it, the like the setting. The first part was we call it the preamble, but anyway, so it's it's to do with the setting, something like that. Anyway, Lingshi.
So Lingshi Marda, Tome Lingshi, Tanta de Jug, Iran, Jug la Tanta.
No, Lingshi Mare.
The Lingshi and Gola Saswan.
So sorry, the part at the beginning which was talking about the setting, that was the preamble Lingshi, but this is not the preamble. This is not considered Lingshi. So anyway, what it's saying is that the one who asked, once the Buddha had said that, then the one who asked the question, Shariputra, the one who answered it, Avalokiteshvara, and this whole gathering, which included, as I mentioned before, all of those gods, particularly gods who like the good side, the Dharma, who like the Dharma, and then also so many bodhisattvas that came from Pure Lands, and also the arhat. So when it says, it talks about the fully ordained, the fully ordained ones. That means they were all arhats, apart from one, which was Ananda. So they were all overjoyed at this teaching and praised the Buddha. No.
Oh yeah, 어디세? 다단다 디. 아니 상계 좀데데 투기 친게 랍니. 아니 실은 인부티 다또 송이디 아니 바과치레스. 어디 친게 랍에 가. 디네 단다 디 상계 좀데데 딩서 셴니. 아니 베 렉소 제오 디마 송니. 디시원에 제수 용서 셴네 송거데 셴 초문에 송부 인사 셴네 송베 가치. 다단다 이게 통에 링시치. 딘데들 중수 당도 저 링시 줘봐. 디 송단다 디 용단티. 오 중루 중단 송아디 링시스 그래. 대단 다다 니오 제수 이랑 디도 간가 간에 딘데들 중수하지. 이랑 도가 온딜이야. 제수 나게 가스래. 가 됐음도와.
네.
유친길라베가 셴네스메가 제수 나게 가스디 상계 가래.
Ale oleni kaste shinesu ka teni jingila be ka ani jisu nawe ka se lingshi di
제수 나게 가래.
jisu nawe
링시 단다 주기디 도와. 제수 나게 디 상계 좀데 데 셴네 송야 말 징라면 마오고 듣고 제체제. 두마 강가디 중단 저러 됐어 마 송체제. 오다 제수 나다.
No. Yeah, so there are this sutra is all the word of the Buddha, and when we talk about the word of the Buddha, there are three types, and which are all contained in this sutra. So you've got the part which is which was taught, which is the word of the Buddha through his blessing. So that would be the particularly the answer that Chenrezig gave, and then you have the word of the Buddha, the part of the sutra which is the word of the Buddha in the sense of being actually spoken from his own mouth. So that's where it says well said, and so on. And then you've got a third type of word of the Buddha, which is considered to be the word because it's spoken according to his own instructions. In other words, the Buddha said that in the future when my teachings are recited, this is how you should do it. You should talk about the setting, the way in which the sutra came about, and so forth. So that's the word of the Buddha according to his instruction, let's say. So that would be the preamble that we had right at the beginning, which talked about like the place that it was taught, who was there listening, and so forth. And then this part at the end, which is talking about the once the Buddha had spoken, then all of these Shariputra and so forth, they rejoiced and praised the Buddha. No.
어떠잖아. 어떠 두서다 디 던다 센터지다 용계리 뒤숨스 요래. 부디 주주도와 어다 단다 디 던다 디 지고지양래. 디 오른심에 송다 디 파 개때는 시라 개부채 뒤뒤 전에는 딱간다 쇼로 니숨지 나는마도 야마르와 어디서 싫은 인부디 베테다 디 가서 뒤뒤 전에 코대고 어다 딘데스래. 도잖아. 아니 되는 게 슈산에 따조 콘세 경고 신분에 망고 쉬어버려. 디시라 나스 망고 쉬비 디티티. 되는 다가나시 냐마 나도 기시 서발라. 기시 서발라 냐마 어두스나 디쉬비. 디겐기 순서디 양진 관리 다가 가네마 손나스. 도체 마 서로 제인 손소 도체 근데 인터잖아.
No. So as I mentioned before, we have the three particular Perfection of Wisdom sutras, the extensive one, which is very extensive, then the middling one, and the summarized version. And so the meaning that the meaning which is contained in those sutras is exactly what's explained here in this Heart Sutra, which is, very brief explanation. And this is something which I received many times from His Holiness. This commentary I received many times from His Holiness. I also received it from in Sobala, so Gishi Soba, and he himself received it from Yangshin Galo. No.
그렇잖아. 다 니네 다 현대 수행민도 은이 가서래. 단단 내 캐나서 도나 첨부체. 오덕문에 배 딘데스 도나 첨부토네. 아니 두스마 세나야다. 아니 냥냥신 난거 요래. 제산 창말. 아니 내 무슨 페나니레 다다가네 균이야 세나니 요르바 아 창말이야. 아니 참디다시들이 쉬었다. 아 창마베 아니 구제 파제 매바다. 안 투시베 삼바치신 바도 다 간다 된다 첨부. 정신 등이 두토야게 앵에 면함제 슈기 도잖아.
So I want to finally thank everybody who's actually here, and people who received this explanation indirectly later on. So thank you for the great interest you've shown in the teachings. Thank you for listening to this teaching, for practicing, for your practice. And I will pray that you will have no hindrances in your lives, and that yes, that you'll be able to accomplish great things with your lives for the for one's own purpose and the purpose of others. No.
어떻잖아. 아니 다 단계지 휴차로 왔다 신다 shum고체 아니 가서 다네 즉 등균낭에 다가나 신디 아니 비게 구디낭에 다켜나 창말이야. 아니 닝타번에 두치에 chen 쉬어이 두치에 chen 쉬어이 다 신다 쉬어면 다된 아니 과사 경고 진비 의외 아니 딘지기고 칸의 수신나 구지 샤베 봐 윤된 바다 투시 치신 반조 봐 아니 점링 켜용을야 모두 무게 딱고 용서파 시운 신이 강가 참제별 쥐도 봐 딱한다 아니 두고 디지별 봐 롱제도 통면나로 나셔 도시나
And so many thanks, especially to everybody that that organized this, all the organizers, everybody that made this event possible. My sincere thanks to you all, and I would like us to dedicate all of this to the long life of all of the holy beings in the world, especially His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and for the world to be completely free of war and famine, and for the whole world to be filled with happiness and peace. No.
다 주주 대스 예샤 주주 예버 심사도가 다 되버티네 되버 꼬마년에 되버지기지 나는 되도에
No. So we've actually already gone beyond the allocated time, but still I'm wondering maybe it's okay to have one or two questions.
뭐야 도잖아 다
Yeah, Parinpoche Pekti from Malaysia.
So anyone
Yeah,
can unmute
from Malaysia, Parinpoche. My one question is the path of no more learning is the end, is actually the result. After practicing the 4 paths, it becomes Buddhahood. So why is it still called a path, which is like a journey, a track towards a result? Since it's already no more learning, it is no longer a path, like a journey. It is already a destination. Thank you.
Okay. The Miloblam Sungpa, Miloblam. 제가 남균간소 람 세디데 치르 디네데 셴레데 도알라 아니데 람스 라기도아
어래
람 세디 람가체데 치르 도기 여베케제라 데
어래
당게사 사소나 아니데 렙사로스 데 람카 칸칸라데 도가마로스 She's until a lump like it.
제자 밀로람스다 러과야 말스 밀로람스 코랄 따샤브레 no 근데 이한 로고베 계셔요 마 밀로람스 달라고야 마
Well, the fact is that even though it is still called a path because it's called the the path of no more learning, it's a path where you don't have to go anywhere because you've already arrived.
로블람다 밀로람나 니샤도 로블람스 또 로고야 치야 밀로람스 켜는 고야 내가 어두서
Yeah, so the thing is, when we talk about paths, and we have the paths where you still have some training to do, and then there's the path where you don't have to train anymore.
오케이
Thank you.
야야 도잖아
Then next question. Was there a second question? Or we can stop now. There must be some questions.
Just to find out in this Pranamita Jhana, the grounds of the Bodhisattva are presented, the 10 grounds are presented. I just want to know why is it not presented in the Haisoga Tantra, Mahamudra, and the Dopa Chenpo? So is there any reason, or is it so that it doesn't have to take 3 counts on? I'm just curious to know.
I'm sorry, that wasn't very clear. I couldn't quite make up.
Sorry, yes. Whether the presentation of the grounds of the 10 grounds are presented in the Haisoga Tantra, in Mahamudra, Taksen, and the Dokchen, the Great Perfection. Why is it not presented there? So far, I have not come across it. My question is, why is the presentation of the 10 grounds of the Bodhisattva are not presented in the higher yanas?
Oh, okay. Di kabla ani de sachu de sungi duas.
Hola.
That the Quran sana ani de nga lame tang ani charging ki kabla yang ani zoba jembo kabla ani de janju sembe sachu de ten yo ma res di kar res sido.
다 그 퍼진래야 사주 샤요래 사주 나라 딘데 샤요 마 사주 이내 이제 미지 그 나라는 쇼고래 전주 선바 난다 퍼진 있는다 아니 난다 퍼진 당보야 쇼니 퍼진의 쇼니 아니 다 되니야 제 소름 내야 다 소름 전에 누구로 봐 되네 아니 그래다 소름 전부 임을 되네 제제 ring 예배 소체니 오nga shugu yoma be karesana sachubodo bet ya chin sachubane ene nga yiji meji shugu wors nga sheda mar nga lame ge yige da de shabro ba dorin rimbang nga kosa rimba da rimba shisha dorin rimba shibe ene yige kasa tanda gyulu resesyo 외색 림벌 슈고르서 봐. 다 간다 nga 체제 아니 생귀된 게 좀 쳐버디 다야 다 거소래 비게 어디 다야라 왕고야 왕체 엔티네 다 큐크도마도 그 요마디 이네 엔티네 산제도레스 nga 큐크 슈고 어떠잖아. 근데 대인에서 저기서 뭐 사주발레 산에 nga 슈고 산제벌 인지미 되게 터마티 방고 셈딩
The 10 grounds are taught in the teachings on the perfection of wisdom. In other words, they're taught in the Abhisamalamkara. Even if they're not taught in the Tantras teaching, still the Bodhisattva has to go through these 10 grounds. They have to go through the path of accumulation, path of preparation, and so on. So when a practitioner following the Sutra teachings practicing the sutra teachings reaches the path of accumulation and the path of preparation, then without question they would keep going with the sutra path up to the 10th ground. Then once they reach the 10th ground, they would definitely have to enter into the Vajrayana. So in the Vajrayana, we have the completion stage of the highest yoga tantra, which has the 4 stages, including the illusory body and clear light. So they would have to enter the Vajrayana at the clear light, and they would only need to enter the Vajrayana practices for a short period, because then through that they would be able to use that very subtle mind to eliminate the last of the, the most subtle faults of the mind, which can only be removed by practicing highest yoga tantra, by achieving the clear light. Then so then through that practice, very quickly they would achieve enlightenment.
퍼진거 나는 뭐시고 이제 당고 있는 걸 중요해요. 왔더니 가가래. 퍼진거 다 사주도 좀 되게 누구야 말아. 거래야. 나기. 다 그래서 뒤져 가려 오면 뭐 얘는 인지도 배 쉬우지게 쳐봐. 뭐네 다 심지 동에 나와 마서베 체네. 뭐 단단히 단다 저거 상마게는 심지 되게 동에 나와 마서베 치지. 우니지 경규 동규를 쳐봐. 여봐 딘지 고요. 조조 인지 다 타고 있잖아.
There are other practitioners who don't follow that path exactly, and who follow the path of the Vajrayana, a much quicker path, because of the fact that on the one hand their minds are sharper, and on the other hand they have much stronger compassion. Hundreds and thousands, even hundreds of thousands of times more powerful than the bodhisattvas who follow the sutra path. So they feel there's completely unbearable for the sentient beings to experience suffering for even a second longer, and so they feel like they must achieve enlightenment as quickly as possible, so they follow the Vajrayana.
Yeah, 어제 당가 냠네 제비네 전주 선다 점니지다 동번이 따와데 집벌디 인심을 거래 두모나자 엔티네 에니 비가사 나 냠네 징이라 띠띠 매네 켜니나요 디체 에니가 비게 냠네 징이다 나디 거고 쉽지비게 상게 고마 두아 믹스 디송인자 리베 공부 쉽지 상계를 그냥 공부 상계 폐쇄된 거 숨고요 말에 어디 송인자 화장 공부 인스 누가 전부 쉬어래 어딘데 심어 터잖아
In the Vajrayana, if you're practicing the Vajrayana, you definitely do need the practice of loving kindness, compassion, and emptiness, just like when you're following the sutra path. And in fact, this is referred to as the common path, or the general path, that you need to train in as a foundation prior to entering the Vajrayana. So you definitely do need that. And then another important point is that these Vajrayana teachings are even more rare than the Buddhas, because not all Buddhas that come into the world and teach would necessarily teach Tantra. So actually the Vajrayana teachings are more rare than the Buddhas. No.
Oh yeah, 답해지 다가 샤샤인다.
No, so we better stop.
도대체 다 상마라 아니 디 가서래. 다 간다 상마라. 스진당이 상마 투치체 하동이 송주 백군이었다. 제가 아니 그런 체전 쉐인 그렇잖아. 아니 상마 되게 대시 길레인데 면함 예 그렇잖아. 아니 다님도 면함 송쇼
So again, thanks to everybody, especially all the people that prepared, made this possible, and thanks to the translators, because of course you won't be able to get the teaching without the translators. So thanks to the translators, and So I will, pray for all of you, and also anyway, let's all, pray a little bit together to dedicate.
팬데존에 템바 다신게 덴제 기부 탐제 공감상 류진고나 디기 상게 템바 따도 개교로 제 온터치 다면데 부다.
Okay, so that's enough, and then please offer the mandala.
men데 되버 소나쇼.
The short one.
如在学本根准学本论，让月让莲学你的也拜的。 三月学对明的日外，对个南西来，觉吧。 觉知来别，观自然的，觉难觉。 lối dõi đêm bên duyên nghề dõi dõi kia nhô về dễ đại đổi nên nhô dễ gọi dễ ra về cô dễ gọi đêm đói đều gọi mãi Having perfected oceans of limitless qualities, protected.
umzela toche kadinche tene paru khasore yezela namge ti drama sungud wati pe yabondo kadinche tochena ane ta 상마 도지체 다 khasore sungyu yabo shigur betere ane ta 상마 구술 처자다 ane 공감 되나요 왜면은 예 tochena 아니 주대에 왜 주대에 열벨
That's your Having perfected oceans of limitless qualities, protector of all countless migrating beings, oceans of example victors, objects of refuge, and supreme deities of long life, please grant auspiciousness. Glorious Lama, master upholding the victory banner of the teachings with the strength of supreme intention, Lord of Dharma, your spontaneous enlightened activities, increase the holy Dharma taught by the great sage. May your life be stable. Having perfected in all ways the activities of listening, reflecting, and meditating on the Dharma, which encompasses the classes of Sutra and Tantra, you show the definitive meaning and skillfully expound the unmistaken path for migrating beings. May you gloriously abide for a long time. From the ground of reality and the blessings of infallible refuge, and through the force of our admiration and reverence, may all aspiration be accomplished as wished, unharmed by signs of interference and obstacles.
So what Rinpoche was saying there is thanks again to all. The translation went very well, so I really appreciate that. Also, you were reciting the Tara praises and the Tara mantra, so that was really great. Thank you very much for doing that. And please all take good care of your health and so forth.
Thank you very much, Kari Rinpoche.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Rinpoche.
Rinpoche.
Lifelong.
Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Have a long
Thank you,
and healthy
Rinpoche.
life.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
also for the
you.
translations.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you,
Thank you.
Rinpoche.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.